Conference from the golf field on the campus of St. Francis University in Loretto. It's the Laurel Highlands Conference Championship game. Representing the West Conference, the undefeated and ranked #1 team in the state of Pennsylvania in AA, the Bishop McCort Crimson Crushers. Representing the West, the defending state champs in Single A, the 8-1 Bishop Guilfoyle Marauders. Hello again, everybody. I'm Rick Hall alongside Ken Salem, and what a game we have lined up for you here tonight. Ken, there's been an atmosphere in this building since we stepped foot in. We're anticipating a great football game tonight.
This is going to be a fantastic game. You know, this is the 75th meeting between Bishop McCort and Bishop Guilfoyle. McCort has a 36-35 edge. There's 3 ties. This is going to be a fantastic game featuring 2 of the top teams in the Laurel Highlands Athletic Conference. 2
very deep teams, and we're going to spotlight a couple of players for you, one from each side. First, for the visiting Bishop McCort Crimson Crushers, we have highlighted their quarterback, their junior, number 8, Bentley Bainey. He has passed for almost 1,300 yards this year. He has thrown for 16 touchdowns. He's rushed for another 6, and defensively, he has 4 interceptions on the season, and he is their shutdown cornerback. For the Bishop Guilfoyle Marauders, we have highlighted their outstanding senior receiver, number 0, Tyson Listoki. He has a team-leading 32 receptions on the year and 5 touchdowns, and defensively, he is tied for the conference lead with 6 interceptions. And now it's time for your Priority First Federal Credit Union keys to the game. With those keys, here's Ken.
This is going to be an outstanding ball game. And again, when you're taking a look at both teams, they're very similar. And if you talk to the coaches, they would probably say that their keys are similar. But for Bishop McCort, you know, they need to eliminate those big splash plays that Kissel and Listoki are used to getting. They have to control the line of scrimmage. If they can get their running game established, that's going to be a real big deal for them. On the BG side, they need to win on 3rd down because, again, they also want to be able to control the clock, and they also want to put themselves in good field position throughout this ball game by taking advantage of their excellent kicking game.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Those are your Priority First Federal Credit Union keys to the game. When we come back, kickoff the battle for supremacy in the Laurel Highlands Athletic Conference. Right after this, you're watching the Good Feet Store's Friday Night Rivals presented by Levin Furniture.
The Good Feet Store's Friday Night Rivals, presented by Levin Furniture.
Welcome to the Good Feet Store's Friday Night Rivals. I'm Joshua Hauser, the district manager here at the Good Feet Store in Altoona. As America's arch support experts, we believe everyone deserves to live the life they love, free from foot, knee, or back pain. From our local athletes on the field to our friends, family, and neighbors, life is a journey we all take one step at a time. Let your local Good Feet store help you take that journey without pain. Good luck to both teams tonight, and we hope you enjoyed the Good Feet Store's Friday Night Rivals.
And back at the golf field on the campus of St. Francis University here in Loretto. What a matchup we have here for you tonight. I'm Rick Hall alongside Ken Salem. Jeff Page down on the field tonight. Great battle here tonight as they're getting set for the coin flip at right at midfield. And Ken, you talked about it. These teams have met. This is meeting number 75. It's 36-35, although it was dominated by McCort for a while. Then Guilfoyle has won the last 13 in a row. The last Bishop McCort win against the Marauders came in 2012. McCort would like nothing more tonight than to come out of here with a win and a championship to go with it.
Absolutely, and this is an exciting game. You know, you take a look at how these teams have been playing this year, and Bishop McCort comes in averaging 247 yards rushing per game. Bishop Guilfoyle brings 246 per game. They total yardage differential is less than 20 yards per game. So this is strength on strength. Both of these teams like to run the football, and they both very much, want to control the big play from the opposing team. Matchups and who are going to cover those key players are going to be very, very important tonight in today's game, both offensively and defensively.
Yeah, these are two very good defenses. McCort has allowed only 9.4 points a game this year. They have 3 shutouts. Bishop Guilfoyle allowing only 12 points a game, and they have 2 shutouts to their credit. So we don't know what to expect here. We were talking about it before, Ken. We don't know if it's going to be a defensive battle or if they're going to open things up and throw the ball downfield. Stick around. Should be a darn good one here.
It's a good-on-good game, which is always exciting when you're coaching or watching as a fan. BG has a tremendous tradition. The last 10 years has won 5 state championships. Coach Wheeler's done an amazing job. And Coach Smith on the other side has really started a rebuild of the McCort program. This group of seniors at McCort, only won a few games as freshmen. A lot of them started, and they have a lot of game experience. We're seeing that happen in the Laurel Highlands right now with a lot of young teams, and they have reached that plateau with an undefeated season in this championship game. So 2 programs with a lot of history. BG certainly the last 10 years has been one of the best in the state, small schools, and it's going to be an exciting game.
Yeah, should be. Bishop McCort will get the opening kickoff. Carter Bowen will kick off here for the Marauders. 40 kickoffs on the season, 21 of them for touchbacks. Very, very impressive. Very strong leg kicker here for Bishop Guilfoyle. He will put the ball on the tee shortly and get us underway. Glad you're with us tonight here on the Mothership, WJAC TV Channel 6.
Boland's a weapon. He really helps BG control field position. They won the toss. They deferred. And, of course, McCort accepted the football.
So Boland is ready. Approaches the football, puts the right leg into it, and the Laurel Highlands Athletic Conference Championship game is underway. And that will be a touchback. And the McCort offense will come on the field, led by their junior quarterback, Bentley Bailey.
It's going to be an exciting opportunity to watch these offensive teams, sort of take on these stout defensive teams. I know Coach Price has been running the offense for Coach Smith this year, and I have a feeling that he's going to want to test the BG secondary early.
We'll take a look at that McCort offense here coming up momentarily as they come up to the line for the first time tonight. Both these teams really, really good at the line of scrimmage. That's going to be a battle, and that could be where this football game is won here tonight. Bentley sends a man in motion. That's Spontac, and right away we have a whistle to blow the play dead. I think it's going to be an offside call right away here against Bishop Guilfoyle. Maybe got a little too amped up and ahead of the snap.
Defense, 5 yards, first down.
As we hear from referee Mike Price for the first time tonight.
It does look like that first play, McCort was going to put the ball in the air. I was going to mention the BG defense. I've been very impressed with 50 and 60, their defensive end, Hayden Hosgood and Rocco Kashadi. These guys had a great game that we called against Forth Hills a few weeks back.
And right away they are going to go to the air, and they're going to heave it long down the field, and that one almost an over-the-shoulder grab, and a great effort there to bring that in by Kaleem Taylor. Just could not secure the football. Let's take a look at that Bishop McCort offense. They are averaging 43.5 points a game this year. The starters brought to you by the Good Feet Store, America's arch support experts. You see Bainey, D'Elia, Gallucci, Spontak, Dressick, Taylor, Allshoe, Rodriguez, Fetzko, Zahorn, and Rozier. That is a really, really good offense right there. And McCort will go to work now on 2nd down and 10. And they get D'Elia involved. They put it on the ground. He'll have a short gain, maybe 3 yards, going to set up a 3rd and about 2.
Coach Wheeler talked a lot after the game against Forest Hills about how strong their defensive line is and how they take pride in stopping the run, and they really want to work on that as you talk about their starting lineup on defense.
And this starting lineup, the Bishop Guilfoyle defense, brought to you by the Good Feet Store, America's arch support experts. They are averaging only 12 points a game. That's all they give up, and they have 2 shutouts to their credit. So many guys make plays on this BG defense. An early 3rd down here, make it a 3rd and 3. Bentley going to hand it to D'Elia again. He'll crash forward. He's going to be short. So an early decision here for Tom Smith. Let's see if he brings the punting unit on. Bainey is their punter. And it's going to be about a half yard short. And it looks like the offense so far staying on the field. But again, Bainey is the punter. He could surprise you with a quick kick here. See if they go for it on 4th and a half a yard.
Yeah, this is interesting. This early in the game, I would think that maybe they're going to try to draw them off sides, but you never know. Coach Smith's aggressive, and he thinks he can get the half yard.
And I believe he did get it. If they give him forward progress, looks like the side judge coming in, Ken, is going to mark it, and they are going to move the sticks. That's going to be good for a UMH Properties first down. Live better, start sooner with UMH Properties. Visit UMH.com.
That's an aggressive play call by Bishop McCort deep in their territory. And it's obviously a great call because it worked.
They're only bad calls when they don't work. So fresh set of downs here for the Crushers. And Bainey, pressure comes right up the middle. Yes, has to roll to his right. He's just going to throw this one out of bounds. Good coverage downfield by the BG secondaries. That'll bring up a 2nd and 10 from the 31.
You know, we were talking about how good that BG team is with putting pressure. You know, when you're looking at sacks, Hosgood has 8 on the year, Kissel has 8 on the year, and Kashadi has 5 on the year. So, you know, that was trips to McCourt sideline split, and there was no time there. He had no time whatsoever. He rolled to his right and just tossed the ball out of bounds to come back and make another play. So great job by the BGD line to start this game.
And they send a man in motion. Bainey will take the snap. They set up a little screen to the far side of the field. That's Kaleem Taylor. He is met immediately after a short gain, maybe of about 3. That'll bring up another 3rd down here for the Crimson Crushers.
Kaleem Taylor's averaging 31.7 yards per game at his receiver and has a big, strong build. And I know they're going to want to try to create one-on-one matchups for him.
Yeah, he leads them in touchdown receptions with 6. He's been targeted twice here in the early going in this one. A 3rd and 8 for the Crushers.
Trips to the BG sideline.
And Bainey's going to heave it to the near side. That falls incomplete, but a flag down. We'll have to wait to see what the flag is.
Based on where that flag is, that's probably going to be a hold. And that's going to be declined by BG and force McCort into a punting situation.
I don't think they're going to go for it on this 4th down. 4th and a half yards, a little bit more. And that was referee Mike Price, a little more manageable than 4th and 8.
So really excellent series for BG to start the game. Defense comes out, is able to establish the line of scrimmage. McCourt was able to throw the ball, but under pressure, almost every attempt except that first one that went deep and wasn't brought down on that fade pattern.
And Bainey is on to kick. He averaged 36 yards a kick this year, a punt. And he will set up at his own 22 to kick this one away to the Bishop Guilfoyle Marauders.
He's a weapon. Not only is he a good punter, but, he's able to read the field and make plays. But this is definitely one of those situations where they want to get rid of the ball.
Well, he gets away a good kick, but it's fumbled. And who has it? McCort has the football. So an early turnover and an early break here for Bishop McCort as they will bring their offense right back onto the field. We'll be back with that. We're going to step aside, take a break. You are watching the Good Feet Stores Friday Night Rivals presented by Levin Furniture. I don't want to mention who had the fumble. I think it was
Spontak was the one who recovered it. I don't know who fumbled it.
So Bishop McCort punts the football away, but they recover the fumble on the...
Josh Bontak with a big play coming downfield. Great coverage. Puts himself in position to pick up that misplayed ball by BG. You know, that's a tough one. BG had a fantastic defensive series there to start the game, and then special teams plays are going to be crucial in this game. Both coaches have talked about trying to eliminate mistakes and making sure that they take advantage of those miscues when they occur. So a little pressure here on McCort. They got the first miscue. They've got to do something with this, and of course BG's got to be resilient and forget that last play and now get after this McCort team on a 1st and 10, I think, from the 33.
Yep, and we'll see what they have in store here. Bentley into the shotgun. Guilfoyle defense right back on. Little draw action here. The quarterback takes off right up the middle, and he will pick up a UMH Properties first down.
Angelo Gallucci riding the fullback on the inside, keeping the ball. They had the short motion coming around. Real nice push up inside on the left side of the offensive line. Outstanding game.
And Gallucci going to remain in at quarterback in the shotgun formation again. And Gallucci again tries to go right up the gut, but he is met right away, this time by Jake Kissel, and brought down for no gain.
Kissel's a dominant factor from that linebacker position, and the McCort offensive line needs to keep an eye on him and control their gaps so that he isn't able to cross face.
Now, you talked about sacks and tackles for loss. He leads Bishop Guilfoyle with 19 tackles for loss on the season, tied for the team lead with Hayden Hosgood at 8 sacks. They know how to get in the opposition backfield, Ken, no doubt about that. So no gain on the play, 2nd and 10. Gallucci will hand it off this time. And a couple of yards, and that's about it. And I think another flag comes in. That was Spontak on the carry. We'll hear from referee Mike Price again in the early going. He's been a busy man tonight.
Holding. 75 offense. 10 yards. 3rd down.
So that was the holding call against the Crimson Crushers. That'll back them up.
Big Joseph Zohan got called for getting his hands outside the box. You know, that was a 4-quick situation. They brought the motion around. They're trying to get the perimeter to the right side of the field on the BG sideline, and that it just took a long time to develop. And I think that's the longer you're trying to hold those blocks at the point of attack, the easier it is for your hands to get outside the box. So that's going to bring up a 2nd and long for the Crushers here. Once again, they're in a 4-quicks formation with an inside slot to the BG sideline.
2nd and about 19, long 19, short 20. Bainey back in at quarterback. He'll take the snap, and his throw is batted up in the air. Good coverage right there. Kaleem Taylor was blanket covered. Well,
let me correct you there. Kaleem Taylor actually defended Jake Kissel. Jake Kissel was in position to make an interception, and Kaleem Taylor did a really good job of preventing that thing from being picked. That's a really great matchup there. Those are two very athletic young men out there, and that was a good play on Taylor's part to prevent Kissel from picking that off and going the other way.
Yeah, he became the D-back. Just no window there to get that football in. So at 3rd and 20, they need to get down to the BG 10 to pick up a 1st down. And Bainey again will take the snap. Bainey is pressured, rolls to his left. Kissel after him, throws this one toward the far sideline, and that's off the hands of the intended receiver. That was John D'Elia, and that'll bring up a 4th and 20.
Hayden Osgood is a defensive factor. He put on the pressure there. Rolling to his left. Bentley had some options there. He could have run that, but I think because of the depth of the sticks, he decided to try to put that on the sideline, and they just weren't able to connect.
Looks like they're going to go for it here. You'd be looking at about a 46-yard field goal. They have a really good place kicker in Avery Connor. And it looks like the offense is going to stay on the field here. They need to get all the way to the BG. They've got to keep in mind the play clock. It's down to 2. Are they going to get this play off? The play clock has expired. And maybe, Bishop McCort calls a timeout. I think they realize that situation. All right, so they're going to talk this one over. Timeout on the field. We'll take it with them. No score in the early going. You're watching Good Feet Stores Friday Night Rivals presented by Levin Furniture. On behalf of WJAC, USCO Federal Credit Union, and Friday Night Rivals, we want to congratulate all of our weekly Scholar Athlete nominees. Thank you for your hard work on and off the field.
Interesting opportunity here. Sometimes you can go for a long field goal here because in high school, if the ball's kicked through the end zone, it's sort of like a touchback. And it's going to be interesting here to see what Coach Price has dialed up on 4th and long.
Well, Bainey takes the snap from the shotgun. He gets pressured immediately, rolls to his right. He throws it down the middle of the field. It's caught. And is it going to be a first down? Are they going to give him the yardage?
Looks like the ball was caught, but they're going to be a little tight, I think a little short of the first down from this purview.
That was Angelo Gallucci on the reception. They might have to bring out the chains for this one. He was right at the stick, and now they say no. So it's a turnover on down, so we'll get our first look at the BG offense. Here's a look at it right here. The pressure right away, and a good throw across his body. And they needed the 10-yard line, and Gallucci got up looking to see, but the spot just a little bit short. So the BG offense on the field for the first time tonight. They'll be starting right around their own 10.5-yard line.
Evan Schimminger, number 11, pressuring the quarterback coming off the corner on the McCort sideline. Again, he's not getting any time to really set his feet. They really need to get that protection squared away on the McCort side because BG is having their way attacking the line of scrimmage.
Where they spotted that football almost seemed like it should have been first down, Ken, based on it's inside the 10-yard line. But nevertheless, BG on the field for the first time tonight. Justin Wheeler, the sophomore quarterback, a design run. He'll take it off a right tackle, and he'll carry it out to the 14 for a gain of 4 yards.
Yeah, I think that was Jake Kissel, a quarterback, that had that carry, number 8.
My apologies.
He is tough. He is a tough guy to tackle. He gets into those gaps, into those holes, and he's able to make those cuts in place.
And there's a look at the Bishop Guilfoyle offense, brought to you by the Good Feet Store, America's arch support experts. Kissel leads the way. He'll line up at a lot of different positions here. I thought it was number 2, but it was number 8. Now Wheeler is in at quarterback. And he is in the shotgun formation. He takes the snap. And he's going to heave it right down the center of the field. He has a man, and a good defensive play to break that up. And that was Angelo Gallucci. The intended receiver on the play was Evan Schimminger. Boy, he was open for a second. If that ball's thrown a little bit out in front of him, he may still be running.
Yeah, Justin Wheeler would really like to have that one back. As you can see, there's pressure. He doesn't get a chance to set his feet. The ball's not thrown the way he likes it, and he was wide open. Schimminger, again, wide open, and a nice recovery by Gallucci to get there to make that play.
Just looking at the replay there, Ken, his arm may have gotten hit a little bit as he was throwing that football, but a 3rd and 5 here for Guilfoyle on their first possession.
I've never seen a conference so full of strong defensive ends as the Laurel Highlands this year. I've seen Forest Hills kids. You saw some real strong play out of both BG and McCort, and their defensive ends also had some pressure on that last play.
Bishop Guilfoyle going to use a timeout here to talk things over. As you saw Wheeler come out, there's a look at that really, really dominant Bishop McCort defense. They've shut out 3 opponents in 9 games this year. They are allowing only 9.4 points a game. And you look up and down the lineup there, Rodriguez, Faribault, Fetzko, Gordon, D'Elia. Those guys can make plays. Stevens, a great linebacker, and they go with a nickel secondary. You see 5 defensive backs right there, and it was Gallucci who made that last play.
Stevens is averaging 8 tackles per game. Gordon, one of the defensive ends that I was talking about, averages 6.2 tackles per game. And Garrett Faribault on the other side is averaging 6 as well. So again, these defenses are built to be able to pressure the quarterback. They're built to be able to withstand those perimeter attacks, and it's going to be really interesting to see how this works out. So the game starts with these 2 high-powered offenses really not being able to move the football, and the defenses on both sides are stepping up and making big plays.
It'll be a 3rd and 5 when we resume here for Bishop Guilfoyle from about the 15-yard line. You see Jake Kissel there wondering what the play is. And the play clock has not started yet. And Kissel still in a little bit of confusion. Now I think they have the play signaled in, and they are going to line up here. And the play clock is now running down to 14.
Tyson Listoki onto the field. He is a playmaker. We haven't called his name yet.
And that is Kissel at quarterback. Man in motion. Kissel keeps it. He is met immediately, and he is brought down. That's going to be another tackle for loss. And the Bishop McCort defense right there coming up big, making the play is Donnie Rozier.
Caleb Rodriguez, was on that play. We were talking about him when we had McCort versus Westmont earlier in the year. Rodriguez, a big defensive lineman, is a committed wrestler to the University of Pittsburgh.
And they had a couple guys in the backfield there. McCort did. They know how to get in the opposition backfield too. On the punt now is Carter Bolin, averaging 43.8 yards a kick. And this is a short kick, but it takes a Bishop Guilfoyle bounce, and it'll trickle all the way back to the Bishop McCort 47-yard line. That's where the McCort offense will come back on the field.
Brady Page and Nick Dressick were back there and wisely just let that ball roll. And McCourt's going to start this possession with excellent field position.
Yeah, they have had the field position advantage so far in this football game. The Guilfoyle defense has held strong here. It would be the 3rd possession already for Bishop McCort. Their last possession started pretty deep in Guilfoyle territory. They come up empty. They had a holding call, of course, on that series, Ken. That set them back.
Yeah, McCort talked about playing clean and not making mental mistakes because you got to take advantage of those opportunities. So that turnover did give McCort a field position advantage that they still have, but you got to give BG credit for being able to step up and stop that attack after that penalty.
And Bainey in at quarterback. There's 2 sidecars. And he will take the snap. He's going to hand it off. And moving to Powell, that is DeLee, I believe, with the carry. That's going to be a good carry for about 8 yards.
That was a fantastic surge by that offensive line. There was hats on hats, and they were able to get some really nice push. And, of course, as we've talked before, DeLee is a downhill runner. You give him a seam, he's going to pick up some yards.
Yeah, terrific running back. 139 carries coming into this one, 963 yards, and a team-leading 15 rushing touchdowns. And McCort back into the shotgun. Again, 2 sidecars. Hand it to D'Elia one more time. This time he has a big hole right up the middle, still on his feet. D'Elia all the way inside the 10. He is going to take it in for the Bishop McCort touchdown. John D'Elia.
Power running, power formation. So what McCort did there, the last series, Coach Price had them in 4 quicks, which means there was only one back in the backfield with Bentley Bainey. They brought two backs into the backfield, and they were in a tighter formation, and that allowed them to get that surge. They had a couple more guys in the box. Great job by the offensive line, and again, great speed by D'Elia.
John D'Elia, his 16th rushing touchdown of the season. And on to attempt the point after is Avery Connor, 47 of 49. And point after attempts, Richie Hildebrand is the long snapper. Angelo Gallucci will do the holding. And the snap is good, the hold is good, and the kick is good. So McCort with an early lead here, 7-0. A long touchdown run by John D'Elia.
Big play again. Nice job by McCort offensively, making the adjustment, putting a couple more guys in the box, and they were able to open up some seams there and give him a fantastic opportunity. Again, burst right through the middle of the line there, and there's just no way you're going to bring him down one-on-one, trail in the play.
And then the stiff arm right at the end, Ken.
He's a strong kid. He puts a lot of time and effort into the weight room.
And you can tell that burst of speed he had, and then the stiff arm right there. There's the officials talking things over. And you see McCort gathered over in their sideline.
So Avery Connor had a career night last week. They took on the Forest Hills Rangers, who also were a common opponent of Bishop Guilfoyle, and that was a back-and-forth game, and McCort ended up scoring 35 points in the fourth quarter to win that game.
Well, let's take a look at our injury report. Tonight we're going to break tradition here a little bit. We're going to use our injury report to send our best out to the father of Bishop Guilfoyle head coach, Justin Wheeler. Bruce Wheeler having a little health situation right now. Bruce, Mr. Wheeler, we are sending our best out to you. We hope you are going to be back at 100% here in the not-too-distant future, and we send our best out to you. That injury report was brought to you by Berger & Green, your disability and injury attorneys. And the kickoff. And it is fielded about the 22, and straight ahead with that football is Evan Schimminger, and he is wrestled to the ground. And Bishop Guilfoyle back onto the offense.
Schimminger is an outstanding player. They use him quite a bit. He's able to do a little bit of everything. He's sort of all-purpose. And, again, we were talking a little bit in that last series. I really expect BG to try to get a favorable matchup with Listokey. He is a playmaker for Guilfoyle, and when he touches the ball, good things usually happen. And we'll see this series how they get him into the game plan.
And Justin Wheeler, the sophomore quarterback, back in here in the shotgun formation.
Listokey's up top.
And he's going to hand this one off. And ahead with the football.
Jack Giosa on the carry.
Jack Giosa for a couple of yards. We'll bring up a second down and about 6 for Guilfoyle. See how they respond here after giving up that long touchdown. You talked about that game last week. They played against Forest Hills 73-47. You mentioned the final. They beat Forest Hills. They ran for 405 yards in that football game, and that's a good Forest Hills football team. We saw them earlier this year.
Absolutely, and, to give Forest Hills credit, I mean, they were winning in the fourth quarter. I mean, that's just a crazy game. All the years I've watched high school football, seeing that kind of points scored between two teams is something else.
And now on second down, and keeping the football, and in the plus territory, and that is Jake Kissel, and that will be good for a UMH Properties first down.
Coach Wheeler's outstanding with what he does with his team, so you're going to see a shift to a power formation to the BG bench, and then they're able to run a power play on the ground to the left side of the line. So you're going to have to take a look. McCourt's going to have to take a look at what adjustments they're making with motion to make sure they don't end up in what would be considered an unbalanced is the word I'm looking for, formation.
And Kissel now at quarterback. He'll take the snap, rolls to his right. He's going to heave it deep down the far sideline. He has a man open and a diving catch. And what a catch that was. And a long gain here for Bishop Guilfoyle. Is that Listokey on the catch? Still waiting for a number.
It's going to be interesting to see what the call is here. There looks like the ball's thrown deep, There may have been a little bit of a hold back there, but certainly if it's against McCort, they're going to decline that penalty.
And that was indeed Tyson Listoki.
There was a chance that
Interference, defense, number 3. Penalties declined. First down.
I think they got caught up, and that's why the coverage actually got blown there. Something happened, I didn't see it, where it looked like there was a hold, there was a collision, and then Listoki broke free. So we said earlier, he is a big playmaker, and BG working hard to get him into the game plan.
They will set up shop now deep inside McCort territory at the 10-yard line. And Kissel takes a snap, and he tried to bounce it outside, but he is wrapped up and taken to the ground.
So I really like that play call there. So they lined up in the same formation they had 2 plays ago. We talked about the power formation, but they lined up to the McCort sideline, pulled both of those guys to the weaker side of the formation, and then followed it up with the ball carrier. There's some real nice strategy going on here with how Coach Wheeler is trying to establish the running game, because he said you got to run the football to win.
And 2nd and 10. We'll see what they dial up here. Kissel remains in at quarterback. And Kissel will take the snap, design run. Tries to get to the edge. Now he cuts it back upfield, inside the 5 and down to the 3. Jake Kissel.
That's an outstanding play. So going back again, they had formation, the power formation to the left, and this time they ran right behind it. So you'll see here in the replay, he's got 72, who's lining up as one of those power linemen in the backfield, and they're just putting more guys at the point of attack there right now, and sort of imposing their will a little bit on the McCort defense.
So it'll be a 3rd and goal from the 4-yard line. Kissel going to remain in at quarterback. There's a sidecar to his right. That is Hayden Hosgood. He'll take the snap, cuts it upfield, reaching for the goal line. He can't get in, and he is pushed back. He gets down inside the 2, and that'll bring up a 4th and goal.
Interesting chess match. Last drive where McCort was able to run the ball, they went from a 4-receiver set to a more power set, and BG's returning the favor right here, and they're doing a really nice job of running to that set and running away from the set. 4th down play. Big play here.
I'm sorry, Ken. No, they actually spot him about the 1.5-yard line, so 4th and goal from about the 1.5 here. Kissel remains in at quarterback, has Hosgood. Riding shotgun to his left. Kissel takes a snap, looks for a hole, goes right up the gut. Did he get in? Waiting for the signal. McCort says he did not get in. No official has signaled yet. Now I think they are going to spot him short of the goal line, so that's going to be a turnover on downs. What a stand there by the McCort defense.
McCort defense says no. Look here at the replay. You see the big boy right in the center there. I think, you had Rodriguez was involved in that play, and Stevens, the linebacker, 34. Outstanding play there.
So a turnover on downs, and McCort will start this possession at about their own 1-yard line. Here's a look at Angelo Gallucci. See if they just do try to get out of the shadow of your own goal line thing here and just try to run some power football straight ahead. Daney in at quarterback. He's going to hand it off, and not much going there. Maybe a yard or 2 as he's still fighting. And now, is it a turnover? They say the football, coming away with that football is Evan Schimminger. Have they signaled touchdown yet?
No, they signaled a first down. It looks like inside the pack, the ball got taken, and now you're going to have a BG 1st and goal.
That was D'Elia on the run. Yeah, the football did come loose. Couldn't see it from here. Schimminger fell on it. So the BG offense right back on the field. Boy, we expected a good hard-nosed football game here tonight, Ken. It hasn't disappointed yet.
Well, that's the first turnover on the McCort side, so that's 1-1, 1 turnover on each side. This is in a favorable spot for the Marauders.
1st and goal, Bishop Guilfoyle trying to tie this football game.
Expect to see a little bit of Jake Kissel in this one.
Yeah, he has the football right now, and he cuts it into the end zone. Jake Kissel gets the touchdown, his 20th touchdown rushing of the season. This one from 1 yard out, and it's a 7-6 ball game with the extra point pending.
Turnovers happen when good teams play, and there's a lot of physical contact. That was a physical tackle, and McCourt's trying to get out of the end zone there, and they get the ball loose, and now they're in a position to tie this ball game up.
And Carter Boland will come on to attempt the point after. 28 of 29 on extra points this year. Rocco Kashadi, the long snapper. Jack Giosa, the holder, and the kick is no good. So it's a 7-6 ball game. Well, WJAC and the Good Feet stores want to thank Bishop Guilfoyle for hosting tonight's game. WJAC TV and the Good Feet store proud to support our local schools, and tonight are donating $500 to Bishop Guilfoyle.
Special teams are going to make a big difference in tonight's ball game. You see both defense exerting their will. Both offense have been able to bounce back and make plays. That's a big extra point block there that, we'll see what the strategy is as we move forward.
There's the touchdown run from Jake Kissel from 1 yard out. That was his 20th of the season on the ground. I'm trying to see if we can see a replay of that extra point to see who blocked it. Do you know who got a hand in there, Ken?
I did not see who got their hand up.
Both teams gathering in front of their respective benches now, and Carter Boland will kick it off. A 7-6 game in this Laurel Highlands Athletic Conference Championship game. Second year in a row for Bishop Guilfoyle to be here. They lost a very hard-fought championship game last year at Penn Cambria, 28-27, a game that came right down to the final play. And we want to thank our live stream sponsor this year. Tonight's Friday Night Rivals live stream is brought to you by UPMC, life-changing medicine.
One of the things that when you talk about that game last year and after Penn Cambria had that championship and then BG was able to continue and, of course, win a state championship, one of the great things about the Laurel Highlands Athletic Conference, which makes it so much fun to watch, is there's teams from 4 classes, and they all are able to make a run in their respective district playoffs, and they're very well represented. If you play the Laurel Highlands schedule, you are ready for the district playoffs.
Yeah, no doubt about that one. This is fielded right at the goal line, and they're going to say that ball, he stepped into the end zone, which he did, so that's going to be a touchback. Coming up, make sure to keep watching for the UPMC halftime report. We'll look at highlights from around the country, plus Wendy's Teacher Appreciation honorees, and a look back at this year's USCO Federal Credit Union Scholar Athletes. And Wendy's salutes our locals teachers with Wendy's Teacher Appreciation. Can't thank our teachers enough for everything they do, Ken.
I was at a function at McCort this week and saw Mr. John DeFazio, who's celebrating his 50th year of teaching.
McCort offense back on the field here. They'll take over at their own 20-yard line. They lead at 7-6. You see the time left here in what's been a pretty long first quarter.
Absolutely, and I'll tell you what, the BG fans are getting fired up. They know that, they actually have been able to neutralize the field position advantage that McCort have, and this is a very important drive for McCort to respond, but it's also a really big opportunity for BG with the fact that, they're starting McCort at the 20-yard line, and if they're able to get a 3-and-out here, they'll take over the field position advantage.
There seems to be a little confusion down on the field now. I think we're ready to go. Bentley Bainey in at quarterback. 1st and 10. We'll send a man in motion. He's going to hand it off to D'Elia. D'Elia picks his way through, and he'll carry it out to the 26 for a 6-yard gain. So that'll bring up a 2nd and 4 for the Crimson Crushers.
Real nice run there. I mean, he hit the point of attack and felt that seam opening up to his right, and he was able to slide into that hole.
Well, here's one of today's West Central Equipment line mowers, Hayden Hosgood, number 50 right there for the Bishop Guilfoyle Marauders. And here's another carry by D'Elia, and he will pick up another UMH Properties first down out to the 34. For all your lawn and garden equipment needs, turn to West Central Equipment, your authorized John Deere dealer with locations in Martinsburg, Evansburg, and Somerset.
Osgood is a lawnmower, man. He gets it done. He's a tough player. And that was also, they happened to run away from Osgood on that play to the left side of the McCort offensive line. Another nice 5-yard gain. McCort with a little bit of momentum up front right now with that tighter formation.
And they hand it off again. This time it is Spontak. Spontak thought about trying to get to the edge, but instead he cuts it back, and he'll carry it out to about the 41-yard line. So a nice gain there of 7 yards on first down. I mean, if you're McCort, you can stay ahead of the sticks. You can really dive deep into that playbook, Ken.
Well, again, they're trying to move the ball around, and you're seeing some tighter formations here so that they're able to get an extra blocker in the box.
Well, stick around for our post-game show for a look at the Bud's Auto Sales drive of the game. Bud's Auto Sales, no one drives a better deal than Bud. Visit them at budsautosales.com. All right, 7-6 and an action-packed first quarter from the golf field from the campus of St. Francis University in Loretto. We'll be back with the second quarter. You're watching the Good Feet Store's Friday Night Rivals presented by Levin Furniture.
The Good Feet Store's Friday Night Rivals, presented by Levin Furniture.
During the fourth quarter of tonight's game, we'll be highlighting the school bus stop of the game presented by NHTSA. The law in every state requires drivers to always stop for a school bus when the stop arm is out and the red lights are flashing. Paid for by NHTSA.
D'Elia having a fantastic first quarter, 7 carries for 70 yards. He had that big one for that touchdown, but even when you take that big run out, he's averaging about 4 yards a carry. So they're having success with him up inside, especially when they have that extra lineman in there.
Well, second down and 4 here for Bishop McCort. And they faked out our cameraman, but straight ahead with the football. I believe that is D'Elia again, and he is close to the first down. I think he's going to be a little short. That was D'Elia again.
Once again, Kashadi and Osgood are involved on that tackle.
Also, we haven't mentioned his name, the super sophomore Declan Peterson, wearing number 72 for Bishop Guilfoyle. And I still remember what Justin Wheeler said when we talked to him a couple weeks ago. He said he has a chance to be the best offensive lineman ever to come out of Bishop Guilfoyle. And he is that good. And with third, well, they did mark it for a first down. Well, it looked like he was short from here. McCort back to the ground, and this one's going to be stopped right at the line of scrimmage for no gain. My apologies. It looked like they marked him short, Ken, on that previous play, did it not? But they gave him the first down, so the chains move. That was a Ziegler Chevrolet first down on the previous play. And that one there picked up a yard. So it's 2nd down and 9. And the Crushers back to the line of scrimmage.
They got that tight trips formation, handed off up inside. Nice push by the offensive line and great leg drive.
Look at the Leah go into plus territory. That's another Ziegler Chevrolet first down where cars cost less in Claysburg. And that is a nice run there by John DeLea. Like you said, the leg drive, that was all him. I mean, he had a nice seam to get through, but he dragged a couple of tacklers about 5-6 yards. Here's another look at it right here. Right there, look at that leg drive by John DeLea all the way down to the 44-yard line of Bishop Guilfoyle.
Give a shout out to Big Rocco Fetzko, 74. He was all moving some linemen there, some purple shirts going backwards. DeLea is a real tough runner. He reminds me, going back in McCort history to Josh Seidel was a tough runner like that.
Absolutely, no doubt about that. They give it to DeLea again. This time he is stood up and he is dragged down. And that will go for no gain. That was Rocco Kashadi, the first man who made contact with him.
And then Declan Peterson jumping in there, too, with a great play.
Yep. Big defensive play there by the BG defense. And that is a loss of 3 yards.
This game has been as advertised. Both teams working hard. Both teams are able to bounce back from mistakes. Both coaches had talked about being resilient, working on the next play, not worrying about what had happened in the past. It's been a fantastic first half of football.
And this place is packed. And Bainey will take the snap, drops back, looks down the field. He's going to heave it deep right down the middle of the field and going up to get the football. Did he come down with the football?
Yes,
he did.
Sir.
What a catch right there from Kaleem Taylor.
That is just an athletic play. The ball was up there a little bit. Kaleem was able to turn his shoulders to the football. He got high point position here. You can see Bainey releases that thing, and Taylor just glues himself to the ball and goes up there and gets it. What a fantastic play.
That is athleticism on display right there from Kaleem Taylor. That takes the football all the way down to the BG 6-yard line. And they hand it to DeLea, and he'll go off a right tackle, and he'll take it down to the 3.
Absolutely. That was a strong physical run. You know what? I think I saw Rocco looking at the sideline saying, let's go. Let's keep running this thing. Let's put it in there.
And they are going to go hurry-up offense here. They hand it to DeLea again. This time he's met, but he bounces off the tackle and rolls inside the 1-yard line.
He is very close. Again, good play there on the left side of the BG defense to shed a blocker and prevent that touchdown.
As they look to the sideline for the play, offense, you can see offensive coordinator Rich Price.
Rocco Kashadi was involved in that play. I love this. You got Rocco Kashadi down there and Rocco Fetzko, and these lines are battling it out. Georgiana's been having a big night so far. Rodriguez, it's really been fun to watch that offensive and defensive line play.
Galucci in a quarterback. He hands it off, but he is met immediately, DeLea, and driven backwards.
Jake Kissel just cross-facing and coming up inside and making a big play.
Wow, these defenses don't like to give up much, Ken. I think it's kind of like a blow to their egos when they give up points. They don't like it, or even yardage.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Kissel blitzes here and gets a crossface and is able to just stop DeLea before he's able to get going.
Let's check out the Crawford Gift Shop Spirit Cam. Crawford Gift Shop, your black and gold headquarters. Check them out online at crawfordgiftshop.com.
Give Dr. John Walker a shout out there with his outstanding cheerleading program and squad. They do a real nice job not only supporting the other teams and the other programs, but they also have a pretty outstanding competitive cheer team.
So timeout on the field. When we come back, a 4th and goal for McCort. They lead at 7-6. You are watching the Good Feet Stores Friday Night Rivals presented by Levin Furniture. Coming up at halftime, Wendy's salutes local teachers with Wendy's Teacher Appreciation. Also coming up at halftime, make sure to keep watching for the UPMC Halftime Report. We'll look at highlights from around the country, plus Wendy's Teacher Appreciation honorees, and a look back at this year's USCO Federal Credit Union Scholar Athletes.
Big fourth down. BG called the timeout to get that defensive set. McCourt's coming out here for a huge play with 7:36 left in the second quarter.
Well, we've seen these defenses rise up and make some big plays already in this football game. See if Guilfoyle has one in him right here. McCort trying to add to their lead. Bainey back in at quarterback. Fakes the handoff to DeLea. Gets forced out. Osgood chasing him. He's going to throw it into the end zone, and it's caught. Oh, my goodness. Going up to get that football was Nick Dressick. Wow, he just took that right away from the defender.
You know, good quarterbacks give their receivers a chance, and it's a fourth down play, and you know that they're going to make sure that they give their receivers an opportunity there. Great job by Bentley Bailey to roll to his right, get out of the pressure, and put that ball on a dime, and Dressick making a big-time play. Because, again, you have to attack the football in those close quarters when you're trying to throw it in there.
That was the 5th touchdown reception of the year for Nick Dressick, and maybe none more impressive than that one. And on to attempt the point after is Avery Connor. And the snap is good, the kick is good, so McCort extends their lead
We
to
have a flag on the play,
14-6,
I believe.
and we do have a flag, so we'll see what this is about.
This is a fantastic venue. Of course, I'm completely biased because I'm a St. Francis University alum.
Ball start.
But this field is beautiful.
75 offense, 5 yards, retry.
And they're going to retry the kick, as you heard from referee Mike Price.
So not only have you seen the complete redo here at DeGaulle Field at the Pine Bowl, but also I'm looking up at the Shields Business Building, and I can see there is a gathering going on up there watching this outstanding Laurel Highlands Conference Championship from probably the best seat in the house.
And we'll hear from our sideline reporter Jeff Page at halftime. He also played football right here for St. Francis. And the second attempt is no good. That's going to be wide right. So that's going to keep it a 13-6 game. We're going to step aside, take a break. You are watching the Good Feet Stores Friday Night Rivals presented by Levin Furniture. Here's one of today's West Central Equipment line mowers, number 50 right there. We talked about him earlier, Hayden Osgood, the senior at 6'3" and 223, and he has made a lot of plays here tonight, and he was really pressuring Bentley Bainey on that touchdown pass that he threw, and he kind of forced him out of the pocket, and Bainey was able to hit his man, Nick Dressick, from a couple of yards out, 2 yards out, but boy, Osgood, he is a terrific football player, Ken.
He is. He's having a really outstanding year, but you know what? You got to give some of those other defensive players, Peterson inside, Georgiana, and Kashadi, those guys demand respect inside, and sometimes that creates those one-on-one matchups off the corner. So it's a team game. They'll all share the accolades, but Osgood is making he's making use of every opportunity he gets. Does a fantastic job as a physical player.
That last drive, 12 plays and 80 yards, culminating in the 2-yard touchdown catch by Nick Dressick. And the kickoff. And it's fumbled again. And brought down right about the 20-yard line is Schimminger.
Special teams are a big deal here, so that motion penalty that forced the re-kick, ends up costing McCort that extra point. And now here we see another opportunity for a fumble and a potential turnover after that play happened. Just want to get on the ball and make sure you control the possession. That's what BG did. And now they get to start from their 20-yard line, trailing 13-6.
And the BG offense back on the field here. And they are going to spot this ball right at the 20-yard line. That's where they will begin this possession. And it's going to be Jake Kissel. Lined up right to the right of quarterback Justin Wheeler. He's going to hand this one off, however, and that is stuffed right at the line of scrimmage. And nowhere to go.
Sidecar formation there gives BG the opportunity to run power to the right or hand it up inside. That's what they did. Nice stop by the McCort defense on first down.
Well, 2nd and 10 here for BG.
Want to send out a greeting to a McCort fan, one of the names that everybody in the last 30 years at McCort knows and loves, Mary Luna, who's been the secretary at Bishop McCort, and she's recovering at Conemaugh Health System, and we send our love to Mary Luna.
Absolutely. Get well. Get well, Mary. And Wheeler remains in at quarterback, has Kissel in the backfield with him, takes a snap. He is under pressure immediately. He's able to escape it, rolls to his right, and he'll heave it down the near sideline, looking for Tyson Listoki. Got a hand on it, couldn't haul it in. That'll bring up a 3rd and 10.
That big defensive line put some pressure in there, and I think we're going to see a holding penalty against BG.
Referee Mike Price, a busy man so far in this one.
Coach Smith's determining whether he wants to take him back. I think he is going to push him back.
Holding. Offense, number 72. 10 yards from the previous spot. Repeat, 2nd down.
Coach Smith has a lot of respect for the BG team, the BG offense, and especially Coach Wheeler. So, you get a chance to push the sticks back. That's a big deal.
And here's another look at it right here. The super sophomore, I call him, Declan Peterson.
Yeah, maybe you could have had, there's 2 potential jersey pulls there. What happens when the play gets extended, that's when you see those flags.
Timeout on the field. Both teams are going to talk this one over with their respective benches. Yeah, you talked about the intensity leading up to this game. We could feel it in this stadium, the golf field here in the University of St. Francis, and this place is packed here tonight, Ken. We expected a great turnout. We expected a great ball game. We got both, and it has not disappointed.
Yeah, both teams are playing really hard. There's great line play on both sides of the ball. It's and then there's been a great opportunity to see some pretty good skilled kids on both sides of the ball.
Well, tonight's Friday Night Rivals live stream is brought to you by UPMC Life-Changing Medicine. We thank them. We thank all of our sponsors throughout the year. And while we have a chance, I wanted to read off some names here. Everybody who's contributed this year to our broadcast, our executive producer, Gordon Blaine, our director, Dave Emenheiser, graphics and producing, Alicia Emenheiser, replay, Connor Howard, Josh Bowers, and Katie Walpole. Our camera operators, Matt Kinnar, Sydney Metz, Isaac Nisley, Jared Adams, Louisa Adams, Harmony Fetterman, and Sean Malick. Our sound engineers, Mike Corcoran, Ryan Corcoran, and the one and only Shannon Allison. Our stats family, the Helsels, led by Greg Helsel with Cameron Helsel, Bracken Helsel, and Aaron Helsel. Our sideline reporter, Jeff Page, Joe Putnam, Brian Tripp, and Ken Salem. Thanks, everyone, for their contributions this year to Friday Night Rivals. So a 2nd and 20.
Whoa!
And under pressure immediately. He gets hit, but he dumps it off to Kissel, and Kissel gets back to the line of scrimmage. And what a play that was by the sophomore quarterback. Now, Kissel a little bit shaken up there. That could have been a safety, but he was able to unload the football. And
Justin Wheeler stands in and takes a huge hit. The ball gets popped in the air. Kissel, again, always at the right place at the right time, covers that. That could have been a disaster for BG this far down in the field.
Here's the UPMC replay. I gave him credit for throwing it. I think he did throw that ball, Ken.
Well, he definitely tried to get rid of it. That's a headsy tough play by Justin Wheeler.
And only a sophomore, 3rd and 20 now from their own 10-yard line for BG.
Coach Smith likes to bring the heat. He's always been a blitzer.
Now another timeout on the field. McCort calls this timeout. And you see both teams headed back to their respective benches there. I can't believe this is our last game of the year. We have so much fun doing this, Ken, and yeah.
Absolutely. I've just been honored to work with you the last 4 weeks. You know, the beauty of this broadcast is we get to focus on fantastic interscholastic athletics, and we have great kids in our local high schools that are working hard and competing and doing great things.
Yeah, no question about that. Stick around for our post-game show for a look at the Bud's Auto Sales drive of the game. Bud's Auto Sales, no one drives a better deal than Bud. Visit them at budsautosales.com.
It's going to be tough to pick one of those today because there's been a lot of big plays and a lot of good drives so far.
Yeah, no doubt about that. A couple weeks ago in the – what game was that? We had a defensive play as a drive of the game. I can't remember what game that was, Ken.
Absolutely. That was the Richland game.
That's right.
And we had a big play and a big sack and a scoop and score, and that was certainly a great play of the game because very few times you get to see those big guys score a touchdown like that.
You gotta reward the big guys, no doubt about that. They do a lot of the heavy lifting.
Linemen win games. There's no doubt about it. They never get their name in the paper, but you're not scoring if you don't have good offensive linemen.
Spoken by a former offensive lineman. 3rd and 20 from the 10-yard line. And it's a quarterback keeper. Kissel bounces it outside. Kissel out to the 19, and he has his legs taken out. And that'll set up a 4th down and about 11. You would expect Bishop Guilfoyle to punt this football away here and get their defense back on the field.
That's a really great play there. You know, you want to be able to give yourself a little bit more room so you can execute a better punt. And, again, Kissel just makes plays.
Yeah, he absolutely does. And we talked about earlier, he's been talking to Duquesne, Robert Morris, Villanova, perhaps, in the mix for Jake Kissel's services. And Bolin on the punt. He's going to keep it. It's a fake punt. He needs to get to the 30, and he gets to the 30, gets the 1st down, and takes a hard hit. But he took the hit to make the play. The fake punt from their own 20-yard line. They get the 1st down. Look at the celebration on the BG sideline.
This is completely on him. He has the complete permission from the coaching staff. If this is there to either punt it or run it, that's an outstanding play, and that's a momentum swinger. Wow.
Bolin on the sideline getting congratulations from his teammates, and deservedly so. Wow, you don't see too many fake punts from that position on the field. Normally it's around midfield. Bolin saw something he liked, and he went for it, and he picked it up out to the 31-yard line. Wow, we'll see what that does to the momentum in this football game. Schimminger in motion. Kissel takes a direct snap, and he goes forward, and he is caught right at the line of scrimmage and brought down.
Caleb Rodriguez making some penetration there, disrupting that play. You know, on that fake punt, McCort probably had a return set up, and a lot of times when you're able to get the edge like that, it's because a perimeter defender goes back to set up a wall and a return. So that's probably what they saw there, but what a heads-up play by that junior. Outstanding.
No doubt about that. He took a big hit on the sideline to make the play, but he bounced right back up. And Kissel going to remain in at quarterback. He has a sidecar to his left. That is Schimminger. Kissel takes the snap. He's going to heave it down the far sideline. And a good defensive play right there to break that up by the McCort defender. And that was Bentley Bainey, the shutdown cornerback, as he was covering Tyson Listokey, who's a little slow to get back to his feet.
Well, that was a really interesting formation there. Again, they set that up with maximum protection, so they were trying to get the one-on-one matchup back there, and that's going to be a tough one all day long. Both of those guys are exceptional players, and they're just going to give them each an opportunity to make plays. Sort of goes back to the touchdown we saw earlier with McCort. A good quarterback is going to give their receivers a chance to make plays, and the defender just has to break it up.
And Bainey, I'll tell you what, he is a terrific, they call him the shutdown corner. And Wheeler back in at quarterback now on a 3rd and 10. And he fakes the handoff. Looks the scene over. He gets pressured, rolls to his right, picks up a block. He's directing traffic. He's going to lob it out, and that one is pulled in, and that's going to be in the plus territory. That's going to be a Ziegler Chevrolet first down, and hauling in that football was Keegan Hewitt, the freshman.
What an outstanding play to be able to buy some extra time back there and elude two blockers. They're going to be checking this out right now to see if BG had any ineligibles downfield.
No, they do indeed, so that is coming back. No, it is an illegal man downfield. Good call on your part, Ken. A good spot, so what was a terrific play there for BG. Comes back.
That's a tough one. That's just a real athletic play there and just trying to make something happen. He had so many evasive moves back there. It's hard to figure where you are, but also to be able to see where your line is pretty difficult.
Well, now a third down and 15 for the BG offense. And again, Wheeler directing traffic. Wheeler runs out of real estate. He's just going to flip it into the sideline and live for the next down. So BG will have to kick this one away, as that'll bring up a fourth down and 15.
Garrett Faribault sort of slow played that to the BG sideline and kept him from getting outside of him. Again, good pressure for both teams, and the quarterbacks are just trying to buy time to make plays.
Yeah, both these teams really know how to get pressure. They really know how to get to the opposition quarterback. We have seen a lot of that tonight. Carter Boland on to punt again. He, of course, ran the fake punt last time. This time he's going to kick it away, and it's a high spiraling kick, and a fair catch called for at the 41-yard line. Bringing in that football was Nick Dresick.
Big possession here, 3:39 left. This is certainly a possession where McCort wants to be able to establish a little bit of the run, use a little bit of clock, and try to get themselves into a scoring position before the half.
And you see Josh Spontak right there trotting onto the field. Spontak, the senior slot receiver, 13 receptions coming into this one, 280 yards and 2 touchdowns. There's the quarterback, Bentley Bainey. There's some big boys across both of these offensive and defensive lines for both of these teams, Ken.
Yeah, the kids have worked real hard. You know, both programs talk about culture. BG certainly has had tremendous success and understands what the offseason means to getting ready. And the McCort team is really committed to redefining their commitment to the weight room as well.
And Bainey finds his mans. That is Kaleem Taylor, and he's dragging tacklers into plus territory and all the way down to the BG 44-yard line.
Flag on the play. I did not see where that one came from, so we'll have to see what the call is here.
He's talking it over here. Referee Mike Price will hear his call.
Ineligible receivers downfield, multiple offensive linemen. 5-yard penalty. First down.
It looked like they were kind of set up that screen, and when it took so long to develop, I think that's what had the offensive lineman get out ahead of the play a little bit too far downfield, Ken. Is that a reasonable explanation?
Yeah, I'm sure that's what occurred there. That's another one of those, that's a drive killer. That's a tough play.
I got to tell you, Ken, working with you for the last couple of weeks, I've learned a lot about football.
Well, it's been a lot of fun, and I had a lot of opportunity working with a lot of good guys, coaching against a lot of good coaches to be able to understand the game.
Now they hand it to D'Elia, and D'Elia straight ahead. He'll get back to the original line of scrimmage and get those 5 yards back. And that'll set up a 2nd and 10.
Powerful run. Again, knees, shoulders. He is a tough guy to bring down.
Yeah, he absolutely is. And he, with his yardage here tonight, has crossed over the 1,000-yard mark for the season.
We have a player down.
He had 5 100-plus yard games coming into tonight. We hope the young man down is okay.
I think that's Tommy Oshu.
And there's another look right there. Oshu just kind of got caught up in the pack right there at the end. And grabs that right leg immediately. Hopefully he is okay. Never want to see anybody go down. He's an important piece of that offense. He is the center.
That's what Coach Wheeler was talking about the other night in our preparatory interviews, and he was talking about how excited everybody is to be in this championship crossover game, but, you really want to stay healthy. He said, I know our goal, and he thought Coach Smith's goal was going to be you got to stay healthy for that second season, which starts tonight, but certainly the district playoffs is the second season.
Yep, district and state playoffs around the corner for these guys. And so far in this football game, John D'Elia, 14 carries for 90 yards and a touchdown. And we thank Greg Helsel for all the great work he's done as our statistician this year. And the McCort offense coming back on the field. And it feels like football tonight. It is cold out here. See everybody bundled up right below us on the BG sideline. Everybody wearing the tassel hats, the winter coats, and we're spoiled. We're up here in a booth with heat, so no complaints, Ken. And now Gallucci in at quarterback. Angelo Gallucci, he'll take the snap. He's going to heave it long down the field into double coverage, and almost coming up with that football was the Bishop McCort receiver, and that was Bentley Bainey, the quarterback. He had one catch coming into this year. It was a 46-yard touchdown catch against Westmont. One catch, one touchdown. That's pretty good efficiency right there. He almost had a second catch right there, but good coverage on the play here. There's the UPMC replay. Double covered on the play. And just getting a hand up to get a piece of that was Brody Gartman.
Yeah, Bentley Bainey was on the route, and
and another flag came down on the play. A lot of flags in this game. And this one's going to go against BG.
BG faithful's not happy about that call.
No, they are not. We're getting a front row seat to their displeasure right in front of us.
This is a huge drive. Coach Wheeler's looking at this as, you need to control this drive because he gets the ball coming out in the second half. And McCort wants to not give BG a chance to put two scores together by controlling the clock here.
And the fake handoff, Gallucci's going to keep it. He bounces it to the outside. Angelo Gallucci down to the 20. Hurdles a man. Now he's down to the 12-yard line before he's taken out of bounds. That's good for a Ziegler Chevrolet first down where cars cost less in Claysburg. A big run right there for Anthony Gallucci. Angelo Gallucci, I beg your pardon.
Absolutely. It's a fantastic move to bounce this thing outside. Look at the tandem of blockers they have out here. Kaleem Taylor, fantastic block. Coach Smith talked about Gallucci as the glue. There's a lot of guys, but there's only one football, and he is always there when his number's called to make a play, and he makes plays and keeps this team and this drive moving.
First down and 10 at the 12-yard line. Now he fumbles the snap, and he dives on it very alertly right there, Angelo Gallucci. That's a heads-up play right there, not trying to do too much and pick it up, just diving on it.
Yeah, snap was a little bit low.
See it right here in the heads-up play on our UPMC replay. Well, new center. I haven't seen Allshoe come back in yet, and he has not. Let's hope he gets himself back in the game. New center trying to get acclimated here along that Bishop McCort offensive line. Now Bainey back in the shotgun. There's D'Elia to his left. He's going to dump it out in the flat to D'Elia. D'Elia inside the 10, and he is upended after a short gain.
Nice little screen look to the BG bench. Picking up about 8 yards on that play. Brings up a 3rd and 7.
And they can still pick up a first down at the 2-yard line.
Clock is still running, and McCort, I believe, is out of timeouts.
And you see the timeouts on the bottom there. Bishop Guilfoyle with one left. And Bainey takes a snap again. He's going to heave it. And this one is pulled in. Spontak takes it into the end zone for a touchdown. Josh Spontak, his 3rd receiving touchdown of the year. And McCort goes up now 19-6 with the PAT pending.
Bentley Bainey just has ice in his veins. He just is able to handle whatever comes at him, and he's been able to look downfield. And that's, the thing that's really impressive there is they're getting real nice pressure upfield from Rocco Casciati, and he's still able to keep his eyes downfield and make that play.
We'll see if Avery Connor can convert on this one. On a penalty last time to push him back. He pushed the kick right. And this one is right down Broadway to make it 20-6 in favor of the Crimson Crushers.
That was a big drive. Again, talking about both teams and their philosophy. If McCort doesn't get a score there and they're handing the ball back to BG after halftime, it's a different strategy. So now being up 2 scores and putting that ball up, we'll see what their philosophy is and what the play selection will look like for the Marauders coming out in the third quarter.
Well, Bishop McCort trying to get their first win over Bishop Guilfoyle since 2012. That last drive, 5 plays and 59 yards.
This is a storied rivalry. Both schools were founded in 1922 and are over 100 years old. And you look at the programs, and, on the BG side, everybody remembers Coach Irwin. And Coach Wheeler has done an amazing job there. And on the McCort side, you had guys like Joe Schumach, and you had guys like Frank Kravetsky. There's a lot of great programs, and there's a lot of great heritage that's associated with both of these teams. So it's a lot of fun to see.
Yeah, no doubt about it. It's the battle for supremacy in the Laurel Highlands Athletic Conference Championship game from DeGaulle Field on the campus of St. Francis University. I'm happy to have you all along tonight on the mothership, WJAC TV6. And Connor will put the foot into it. And this one is fielded cleanly by Schimminger. He's going to bring it to the near sideline, and he is pushed out of bounds at about the 34. We'll see how aggressive Justin Wheeler plays it here with his offense going on the field. Only 51 seconds remaining.
Marquez Gordon on that stop, pushing him out of bounds. He's one of their tough defensive ends. I was at a scholarship dinner, and I heard a story about a McCort student named Ansley Steigers. She's a junior who had a heart transplant, and she gave a passionate speech about how important it is to be thankful for the gifts and the days you have, and to be resilient regardless of what comes your way. It was an amazing speech and an amazing young lady that got a chance to hear at Bishop McCort earlier this week.
Yeah, absolutely a great message. And Ansley, we send our best out to you. We know you're watching, and
yeah, she's doing great, and she's been able to recover and had a very great speech today for a young lady.
That is great news, Ansley. We are pulling for you, young lady, no doubt about that. And Guilfoyle just content now to let this first half run out. We have to snap the ball one more time. And McCort will take a 20-6 lead to the locker room. And they hand it off and up the middle. And a short gain, and that will do it for half number 1. Bishop McCort leads Guilfoyle by a score of 22-6. As they unpal everyone, stick around. Jeff Page going to be talking to Bishop McCort head coach Tom Smith as they head off the field.
It's been a fantastic half. Both teams have had some mistakes. Both teams have overcome those mistakes. Both teams playing hard with a lot of pride. It's going to be a great second half.
Yeah, should be setting up for a great one indeed. And as soon as Jeff is ready to talk to Tom Smith, he has never beaten, when we talked to him the other night, he has never beaten Bishop Guilfoyle as the head coach of Bishop McCort. So he's trying to break that streak too. Bishop Guilfoyle has won the last 13 in a row, we mentioned. And you see the Bishop McCort players headed off the field back to their locker room. Jeff's going to be joined by head coach Tom Smith here very shortly. In that first half, we saw a 43-yard touchdown run by John D'Elia, a 2-yard touchdown catch by Nick Dressick, a 9-yard touchdown catch by Josh Spontak, and a 1-yard touchdown run by Jake Kissel for Bishop Guilfoyle. And it's 20-6 at halftime. There's a look at BG headed off the field also. And some great shots from our camera crew here as they have provided us all year. Tremendous job, tremendous crew we have here at Friday Night Rivals, no doubt about that. And I believe Jeff is ready, and he is standing by with Bishop McCort head coach Tom Smith.
Coach Smith, it's been a battle of the trenches the entire first half. Explosive plays for your offense really have told the tale.
Yeah, we expected a battle in the trenches when we walked into this place, and we got one. And we're excited about it. We like to play in the phone booth, and I think we're doing a good job so far. And then the explosive plays down the field from Bentley to Kaleem. What an unbelievable catch down here near the 1 yard line. Pretty fantastic. So we need to get a couple more of those plays to win this game because this is a really good football team, and we got to keep playing tough.
A lot of pride on Guilfoyle tonight. How about it?
A lot of pride on both sides of the team. I mean, this team does a great job. We're over here fighting like crazy to try to get our first championship in the Little Highlands. We got to keep going to achieve that dream and make these kids legends tonight in our program.
Coach, we'll let you join your team. Best of luck to you.
Thank you very much.
You bet.
Appreciate it.
Back up to you, Rick and Ken.
Thank you, Jeff. We appreciate that. 20-6 your score at halftime. Bishop McCort has the lead. Stick around for the UPMC halftime report. You are watching the Good Feet Stores Friday Night Rivals presented by Levin Furniture. back at the golf field on the campus of St. Francis University in Loretto. And what a game we have going here. The Laurel Highlands Athletic Conference Championship game. I'm Rick Hall alongside Ken Salem, Jeff Page down on the field. And you see the score right there. Bishop McCort leads Bishop Guilfoyle by a score of 20-6. And I'll tell you what, Ken, right now you have to tip your hat, I think, to the Bishop McCort defense. This is a Guilfoyle offense that scores a lot of points, and they have a lot of playmakers, and Bishop McCort has done a great job, I think, slowing down at the very least all those Bishop Guilfoyle dangerous threats that they have.
Absolutely. I think when you get into taking a look at the statistics in a little bit, you'll see that there's a decided advantage of yardage gained by the Crimson Crushers because of the stout play of that defense. And both teams have had opportunities as a result of turnovers. There's been some big momentum swings, but I think for the most part in the first half, McCort was able to control the line of scrimmage just a little bit longer in those key moments of those drives to be able to take this lead.
No, we kind of thought the McCort defense was really going to isolate and try to slow down Jake Kissel, which was going to open up some playmaking opportunities for Tyson Listoki, but he has been covered on the outside. Only one catch. Bentley Bainey doing a great job on him.
Yeah, both coaches said that they felt like it was going to be important to be able to focus on matchups, and Listoki has been against Bainey all night, and so far Bainey's having a pretty good look.
Well, I'm sorry, Ken. Let's take a look at some of the action from that first half. That was the 43-yard touchdown run by John D'Elia, his 16th touchdown rushing of the season. And that made it 7-0. Here was a long pass from Jake Kissel. You saw the flag come in. That was the lone reception right there by Tyson Listoki. And that would set up ultimately what we thought was going to be a Bishop Guilfoyle touchdown. But the Bishop McCort defense held strong, and then they turned the football right back over as Evan Schimminger was able to hop on the football. That set Bishop Guilfoyle up for a very, very short field, and the 1-yard touchdown run by Jake Kissel. They would miss the point after. That would make it 7-6. 20th touchdown rushing of the year by Jake Kissel, but then the McCort offense went to work.
This is going to be an outstanding play. You're going to see Taylor get up and come down with that ball. He got elevation there and went up and just made a play. Bainey, again, putting the ball where he needed to so he could play it. Here's another great job rolling to his right and putting it in D'Elia's breadbasket.
That was Nick Dresick who hauled that in. That was his 5th touchdown catch of the year. They would add a Josh Spontak touchdown catch. They lead it 20-6. You look at the numbers there. You talked about the rushing game and how important it was going to be. Right now, Bishop McCort really having their way on the ground while limiting Bishop Guilfoyle.
Coach Wheeler said that in pregame when he was talking to us. He said we really need to be able to slow down the running attack. He said you can't win in high school football if someone's dominating the rushing statistics. Both of these teams are built to rush the football, so that's going to be a really important fact going into the third quarter. BG has the ball, and they're going to need to establish the running game and then find a way, as you said earlier, to get Listoki open because he does make a lot of the big plays for them. And I think, again, having Wheeler at quarterback occasionally and putting both Kissel and Listoki into field are going to give McCort a little bit more to think about defensively.
Well, you kind of answered my question. I was going to ask you I was going to put the coach's hat on you, ask you if you're Justin Wheeler, how do you get those guys more time and space to make plays?
Well, I think Coach did a great job in the second quarter when he went to that heavier package and he was using a little bit of power running. That's how they advanced the ball on their touchdown. You know, he's got a tremendous amount of plays and items in his arsenal. You know, Coach Wheeler, you don't win 5 state championships by not being able to make outstanding halftime adjustments, and I know he will. And Coach Smith knows that too. I know he talked a lot at halftime about how important it was to come out and put it together in the third quarter.
Well, when we come back, Jeff Page will be joined down on the field by Bishop Guilfoyle head coach Justin Wheeler, and we'll have the second half kickoff. You are watching the Good Feet Stores Friday Night Rivals presented by Levin Furniture. Well, welcome back to DeGaulle Field at the campus of St. Francis University in Loretto. And stay tuned to later in tonight's game. We'll be highlighting the school bus stop of the game. That's presented by NHTSA. The law in every state requires drivers to always stop for a school bus when the stop arm is out and the red lights are flashing. That ad is paid for by NHTSA. Jeff is getting set up down below. We'll hear from Bishop Guilfoyle head coach Justin Wheeler momentarily. Great shot from our camera right there. Great facility out here on the campus of St. Francis University. I'm happy to be here tonight. We knew it was going to be a good football game. It is so far. We're waiting for that Guilfoyle offense to try to get on track. They only put up a 6 spot, a 1-yard touchdown run by Jake Kissel. They're only scored in the first half, and that was on a very short field. And I believe Jeff is ready. He is standing by with Bishop Guilfoyle head coach Justin Wheeler.
Coach Wheeler, thank you for taking a minute. Your defense played tough first half, but a couple of explosive plays kind of told the tale so far.
Yeah, that's what we told our guys. We felt like we're like 98% good, and the 2% give up 20 points. They're a really good football team, but, you know, the guys got to just trust themselves and make those plays. They're within a step of making some plays today, and we hope they do it in the second half.
What was the other message to your guys at halftime?
To have fun. This game, it's a LHAC Championship, but the real season starts next week. So come out in the second half and just let it all go. Enjoy the moment. Come out, try to make those plays. Don't be hesitant. Play like a championship team because the season really begins next week.
Best of luck second half, Coach. Thanks for your time. Ken, Rick, back up to you.
All right, we thank you, Jeff. Always good to hear from the coaches. Jeff does a great job down on the sideline talking to the coaches and getting the feeling for what's going on inside their head. And you can only imagine right now Justin Wheeler wants to go in to that second season into the district playoffs on a high note, you would think, Ken.
Absolutely. And, you know, he's down by a couple scores. They want to win the second half, but they want to play their best football. I agree with him. A couple of those momentum-swinging plays were just best-on-best opportunities, and the McCort kids were able to come down with the ball. You know, Coach Wheeler has built this program. You know, when he took over in like 2008, 2009, you know, the well was dry. They went through a lot of seasons where they won a few games, and he continued to work hard and build a great program. And you're going to see the BG team fight. There's no quitting them. They've established a great program because they know how to expect good things to happen.
And Avery Connor will kick off to get the second half started. And Evan Schimminger fills it at the 18. He will go straight ahead and out to about the 29-yard line before he is hit hard and brought down. That's where the BG offense will come on the field to start the second half. We just got an interesting stat from our statistician, Greg Helsel. Plays of 10 yards or more in that first half, only 2 for Bishop Guilfoyle, 7 for McCort. So they have shown a little more explosiveness, certainly on the offensive side. We'll see if the BG offense can get it going here as they open up the second half.
One of the reasons they want to establish that running game and win on first down is, again, you can keep that explosive McCort offense off the field when you control time of possession.
And that is Kissel at quarterback. And Kissel, they're going to go the air right away looking for Schimminger. It's a jump ball, and it falls incomplete. Good defensive effort right there again by Bentley Bainey, the shut-down cornerback.
I'll tell you what, he has a really good presence in coverage. You know, he's able to work hip to hip. He stays real tight in coverage, but then his eyes get back to the ball. You'll see here, I expect that you're going to see he's going to make a play for the football. So even though there's a little bit of incidental contact there, the fact that both athletes have their eyes on the football, there's not going to be a call there. There's not going to be an interference call there. That's just, again, another best-on-best situation.
And Kissel going to remain at quarterback. No, that is Wheeler, I beg your pardon. He looks right down the seam, and another defensive effort broken up by Bainey, but a flag comes in. I think he's going to get an interference call on this one.
So they're definitely going to call that here. It looks, if we get this on the replay, Bentley comes across the top and swats the ball away, but I'm going to think that they're going to think that the right hand
Pass
may
interference. Defense, number 8, 15-yard penalty. First down.
The right hand on that tight coverage must have slowed him down or grabbed him.
That is a penalty-aided UMH Properties first down. Oh, boy, that was close. That was really close.
We didn't really have a clean shot. I think the flag probably was going to be thrown because of something that happened before that frame, because I really didn't see anything there.
It's very possible. He might have grabbed them before that, no doubt about it.
First down, though, ball's almost at midfield. Big drive for the BG Marauders coming out of the half.
And Justin Wheeler in the shotgun formation from the 45. And he's going to pitch it. And getting stacked up and thrown for a loss is number 14, Jack Giosa. Haven't called his name a lot tonight, but he loses 3 on that one. Make it 2, I beg your pardon.
Spontek is fired up. He was able to trail that play. Again, a good job over here on the defensive side by Marquez Gordon. He stayed at home, and he was able to stretch that play out, and that let that flow pursue upfield, and that's why they're able to make that play. Brings up a 2nd and 11. 2nd and 12.
And Wheeler's going to remain in at quarterback.
4 quick receivers again. And they got the Crushers to jump.
And the Cadens drew them off. And we'll hear from referee Mike Price again. Each team with 3 penalties in that first half. And this will be the second one here of the second half already.
That smart play by Justin Wheeler. I mean, the young quarterback.
Defense, 24, 5-yard penalty.
Being able to adjust cadence and keep the defense off balance. You really want to do that, especially when a defense is being aggressive to the football. That's a great situation because that was a 2nd and long. Those defensive ends were going to pin their ears back, and he got him to jump.
And the very impressive freshman Keegan Hewitt in the backfield. And this is a direct snap, and it goes to Jake Kissel, and he will get minimal yardage.
Not much there.
With that front line of Bishop McCort, so tough to run against. I mentioned it earlier, they've shut out 3 out of 9 opponents this year, only giving up 9.4 points a game. They have outscored their opponents this year 392 to 85, and 47 of them came last week against Forest Hills. They gave up more points last week than they had in the previous 8 games combined.
Donnie Rozier was in on that play.
And you see him right there at defensive end in the near side of your screen. And Wheeler able to avoid the pressure, rolls to his right, and now he looks for Evan Schimminger, and that pass overthrown over his head. And that one will fall incomplete. Good play by Wheeler just to be able to extend that play as the pressure came at him. And right here he's able to step up in the pocket and create some time and space for himself. And the ball thrown a little bit behind Schimminger. And on the coverage was Angelo Gallucci. So 4th and 6.
Again, the strength of the McCort defense, the fact they've got such a stout secondary and the defensive line is tough to run against, it puts a young quarterback in a tough spot because, you want to put some people downfield, but you also need to figure out how to extend the game.
And they're going to fake the punt again. This time it's intended for Jake Kissel. He wants a flag, none forthcoming, so it's going to be a turnover on downs as they ran a fake punt successfully earlier in this football game. They try it again out around midfield.
I'd love to see the replay on this because, again, when you're a punter and the ball is snapped to you and you're going to throw the ball downfield, again, any of your headhunters are then treated as receivers. So if they're being blocked while the ball's in the air, that can be a penalty. So we don't see it there. That's why Kissel wanted a flag, because he's being held up from being able to defend against the return. But that's the thing that they're trying to do there with that fake punt.
Well, the McCort offense back on the field. Bainey's going to hand it off, and right up the gut goes to Leah, and look at him as he just runs over a would-be tackler and picks up some extra yardage, and that's going to be good for a UMH Properties first down. Man, he is one strong runner, John D'Elia. His yards after contact, they don't keep track of those stats, but I'll tell you, he picks up a lot of yards after that initial contact. He has the football again, and this time it's going to be a short gain. But it was surprising that it was a gain at all.
Well, that's the thing. He's so tough. So he takes the ball, and there's really nothing there, but just because of leg drive and determination, he turns a 0 gain to a 3-yard gain. Now you're in 2nd and 7. D'Elia is tough.
Yes, he is. He came into the season, or came into tonight, I should say, with 963 yards. He has gone over the 1,000-yard mark here tonight. and picked up his 16th touchdown rushing of the year.
He averages almost 150 yards a game. I'm pretty sure he's almost there.
And Bainey in the shotgun formation has D'Elia to his left. Going to send Gallucci in motion. Going to hand it to D'Elia again, and right up the gut he goes again, dragging tacklers, looking for that first down yardage. I think he's going to be a little short, but another tough run by John D'Elia.
Rocco Cashotti's in on that play. He comes across from the backside tackle. He sort of gets behind him, but again, D'Elia's so tough, he ends up getting about 3.5 yards after the first contact.
Yeah, his yards after contact is you see the McCort players looking over to the sideline for the play here. It'll be third and about a yard from the 33-yard line of Bishop Guilfoyle. And this one's a quarterback keeper. Bainey gets spun around, but he falls forward, and that should be enough for a UMH Properties first down. That'll move the sticks.
Shout out to Joe and George Arcurio down in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, watching Laurel Highlands Championship football tonight.
Well, let's take a look at one of today's West Central Equipment line mowers, and that is Rocco Fetzko. Rocco Fetzko is a 4-year starter for this Bishop McCort team. 4-year starter on offense, 3-year starter on defense. For all your lawn and garden equipment needs, turn to West Central Equipment, your authorized John Deere dealer. Locations in Martinsburg, Evansburg, and Somerset. Now they hand it off to Gallucci. Gallucci, and he is pushed out of bounds. And I think he may have lost a yard on that play. Good pursuit right there by the BG defense.
Schimminger again being around the football. He's a tough player. He's a junior. Again, great season, going to have a great postseason, and he's going to be an impact player for BG next year. He does it on both sides of the football.
Yeah, no doubt about that. D'Elia, 15 for 106 and a touchdown, so he has gone over 100 yards for the 6th time this year. And McCort looking for the play to be signaled in from their sideline. They give him
under 10 seconds on the play clock.
And they will get to the line, and they will send Gallucci in motion. They fake it to him. And the play looked like it was a busted play, but taken off with that football. And picking up some yardage is Bentley Bainey. That looked like a busted play from here, Ken, but he was able to pick up 5 yards on the play.
Yeah, it did look like he was going to go with the fade up top and then decided to pull it down and picked up again 5 yards.
And that's Bishop McCort winning the line of scrimmage, and that is such an important part, and they do it so well. Both these teams really so good at the line of scrimmage. Tonight, so far, though, the edge in that department belongs to Bishop McCort.
McCort doing a good job of trying to drain the clock here.
This has been an extended drive, a 3rd and 4 for the Crushers. And Bainey. Play action, under pressure, able to escape Osgood. And he's just going to throw this one out of bounds and bring up 4th down. Heads up play there. You look downfield, nothing available. Live for the next down.
Very impressed with the maturity that Bainey shows out in the field. You can tell he's a student of the game. He really works hard to try to give his team an opportunity to make something happen on the next play. Doesn't need to take risks. Up 14 points in the 3rd quarter.
Well, 4th down and 4 from the 20-yard line. I thought maybe we'd see the field goal unit come on with Avery Connor. He is 3 of 4 in that department this year, but they're going to keep the offense on the field.
Trips to the wide side of the field.
And Bainey pressured, under pressure. He's going to run for it, and he has some room down that far sideline. He'll step out of bounds inside the 10. That is good for a UMH Properties first down.
See, that's again Bainey putting the BG defense under pressure because you've got trip split. You've got to get 4 people into coverage there. And then if there's any breakdown and contain, an athlete like Bainey's going to make you pay.
And he absolutely did there. That was Keegan Hewitt who had the pressure on him, but Bentley Bainey able to escape that and pick up the first down. So, as you said, Ken, they are eating some time off the clock here. They are.
You have Kaleem Taylor down here one-on-one to the wide side of the field.
And they're going to go to the opposite side of the field, a jump ball. And pulling that football in for the touchdown is Nick Dressick, his 2nd touchdown reception of the night.
That's an outstanding ball, outstanding catch. Again, it's a high-point play. It's almost very difficult to defend, and a great play again by Bainey.
Dresick, his second touchdown reception of the night, his sixth of the season.
Dresick's a weapon. He high-pointed that ball very nicely.
So Avery Connor, we talked about him maybe coming on to attempt the field goal. He did not. Team gets a touchdown. He'll come on and attempt the point after. And Richie Hildebrand, the long snapper. Angelo Gallucci, the holder. Snap is good. Hold is good. The kick is up, and it is good. 27-6, Bishop McCort trying to win the Laurel Highlands Athletic Conference Championship. They have a big lead right now. Be back. Bishop Guilfoyle's offense back on the field. You are watching the Good Feet Stores Friday Night Rivals presented by Levin Furniture. On behalf of WJAC TV, the Good Feet Store, and all of our Friday Night Rival sponsors and partners, we thank you for watching and supporting local high school sports. We look forward to another amazing season of Friday Night Rivals in 2026. And we've had some great games this year, Ken. Topping it off with the Laurel Highlands Athletic Conference Championship game, and right now McCort is in the driver's seat.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun taking a look at the different teams throughout the area. You know, we had a chance to be at Richland, to be at Forest Hills, to be at Westmont Hilltop, and there's all these different schools and programs are in different places in the development. It's going to be fun to see those schools next year.
It's a short kicked off fielded by makes a man miss, and he will carry it out to about the 41-yard line.
Schimminger again.
Schimminger, good return for sure.
So, you know, you talk about showcasing kids and all the good things that happen. One of the things that Coach Wheeler talked about he was really proud of is being at a Catholic school. He's had two of his former players, Father Brian Norris and Father Mike Pleva, that are involved in the diocesan ministry and actually became priests after being in this program.
Right there you see Schimminger reversing fields, getting a couple blockers out in front of him, and a nice return out to the 40. That's where the BG offense will come on the field, and they need a score right here. They need an answer, no doubt about it.
Schimminger always keeps his head on a swivel. He's able to navigate the field very nicely.
And Kissel's going to keep this one. He is stacked up right at the line of scrimmage. And there's just been no running room tonight for the BG offense.
Rodriguez and Fetzko, they're just starting to impose their will down there a little bit, and they're really controlling the line.
Yeah, they absolutely are. It'll be a 2nd and 10 for Bishop Guilfoyle.
Again, if the defensive line is playing as well as it is, you know, then you have flexibility and coverage in the secondary. It makes it even harder to get Listoki and Kissel open for Justin Wheeler.
Now you don't have to commit as many guys to the box.
Absolutely.
And now Wheeler back at quarterback, and he is under pressure. He dumps it off to the near side, and that one falls incomplete off the hands of Jack Giosa. Well, let's check out the Crawford Gift Shop Spirit Cam. Crawford Gift Shop is your black and gold headquarters. Check them out online at crawfordgiftshop.com. And there you see the Bishop McCort cheerleaders. A lot to cheer about tonight.
Crusher faithful in the house tonight. They almost have the visiting sideline completely packed over there.
Yeah, this whole place tonight. A lot of people here tonight. A lot of people turned out for this one.
Great play on the last play by Garrett Faribaugh. Great job closing speed, putting pressure on the quarterback.
In the 3rd and 10, they're going to put Kissel in at quarterback. Kissel, 3-step drop, looks down the seam, and he overthrows his intended target. It's picked off, and racing back with the football are the Crushers, and finally pushed out of bounds. That is Bentley Bainey. And I'll tell you what, we called him a shutdown corner. That's what his coach called him. And right there, he comes up with the interception, and that is his 5th of the year. And here's the Good Feet Store replay.
On the replay, you're just going to see that Bainey is playing a deep third, and that ball's overthrown. He just makes an athletic play and takes it back for a McCort possession. Now starting this drive inside the 20-yard line.
At the 16 to be exact, and Bainey's been a star player here tonight, no doubt about that.
McCourt's in 4 quicks.
And Bainey takes the snap. Looks like they want to set up a middle screen. Now they dump it out in the flat. D'Elia inside the 10. He is hit and he dives forward down to the 1-yard line. Let's take a look at tonight's sponsor of our live stream. They've been here all year. We thank them for sponsoring our live stream on Friday Night Rivals. That is UPMC Life Changing Medicine.
That was a really outstanding combination route. The wide receiver ran a slant, and they brought the inside receiver around on a slip route. And you can see right here the way this window opens up. Bentley just reads that nicely, puts it right in the breadbasket. He takes it downfield.
They had me fooled. I thought they were setting up the middle screen.
Absolutely. We had options either way there, but that's what you'd expect. He read the corner.
And here's D'Elia again. This time a touchdown run from 2 yards out. Make it a yard out. And John D'Elia, his 2nd touchdown run of the night, his 17th of the season. And Bishop McCort has blown this one wide open. Well, he is a dynamic football player, John D'Elia. Here's another look right here. Just a simple handoff. And look at the surge from the offensive lineman. The defensive linemen were 2-3 yards deep in the end zone.
Yeah, that line is big. I think we looked at there was like a 30-pound advantage across the front going towards McCort. And again, I think that when you combine that with the forward lean that D'Elia has, he is tough to handle when there's a standard offensive line in front of him.
And now they fake it. And this one is overthrown, so the score remained 33-6.
Special teams play there out of Coach Dan Santora's trick play bag. Coach Santoro has been the special teams coordinator at Bishop McCort for many, many years and puts together quite a encyclopedia of scouting for Coach Smith every single week. And all those reads that they see there are player-determined plays that Dan has in every single week. So you can see here there's a release. Nice coverage by Morosco from BG from preventing that conversion to take place.
And that was intended for Nick Dressick. Angelo Gallucci, the man who threw the pass. 4:53 remaining in this 3rd quarter. Bishop McCort with a big lead on the defending single-A state champion Bishop Guilfoyle Marauders. And you wonder, we're going to take a look here. Saw a couple of guys go off earlier. Everybody came back onto the field that we have seen, and that is certainly good news. And this injury report is brought to you by Berger and Green, the injury and disability lawyers. I'll tell you, at some point you wonder maybe if you're head coach Justin Wheeler, you start taking your starters out in preparation for the district playoffs next week.
I don't know. I think that, again, they're going to try to win on this next possession, and then coach will determine, what he wants to do for the second season. Both coaches are going to be really smart about what they're trying to accomplish here for the rest of the game. Again, 4:53 in the 3rd quarter. I would be surprised if I saw anybody make a change like that until the 4th quarter. But I completely understand, why you would think that, because you want to stay healthy and get ready for the district and state playoffs.
And Avery Connor will kick off here for Bishop McCort. Bishop McCort trying to snap a 13-game losing streak against Bishop Guilfoyle. Last win in 2012. And right now they are in the driver's seat to do just that. And a good kick. And Schimminger again. He'll field this one at about his 14. And he makes the first man miss, but finally he is dragged down. And the BG offense back on the field. Making that play was Brady Page. And the Guilfoyle sideline right in front of us, which was pretty rambunctious earlier, Ken. They're pretty quiet right now.
Well, that's what happens when the momentum switches like that. Again, everybody's going to keep working hard here and try to win on this drive and get something good to happen. BG's going to want to move the football. They're coming back out in the 4 quick set, so they've got 4 receivers.
And that is Justin Wheeler back in at quarterback. They might try to open it up and air it out here a little bit. Time is of the essence. Wheeler steps up away from the pressure. Under pressure again. Now he is hit, and he is taken down at the 20-yard line.
So you had 34 Luke Stevens on that play. Stevens has been one of the leading tacklers for the Crimson Crushers this year.
And also Marquez Gordon led the conference coming into tonight with 11 sacks. And he might have picked up a half of one there. They have been in the BG offensive backfield all night.
Yeah, those defensive ends are strong. Gordon and Faribault do a really nice job, and they're anchored by those 2 big boys inside. Again, Fetzko and Rodriguez. Those guys control the middle of the field, and it gives you so much opportunity as a coordinator. Coach Smith runs the defense to be able to dial up a lot of different things when you've got that strength inside.
And he finds a completion here to Schimminger, and Schimminger is going to take it all the way for a BG touchdown. You called that, Ken. You said they would want to come back with a big answer here. They do. Schimminger gets the touchdown. That is his first touchdown reception of the year.
So it looked like Spontak was on Schimminger, and they were running hip to hip. He sort of lost his foot, lost his stance, and then Schimminger was able to make a great play, turn on the Jets, and turn that into a touchdown.
Yeah, Schimminger just kind of caused Spontak to turn around. I'm not saying there was contact there, but Spontak, as you said, just kind of lost his footing, got spun around a little bit, and the long touchdown pass to Schimminger gets Bishop Guilfoyle a little closer. Well, they talked this one over. I think, are they going to go for 2 here? They are going to go for 2. They are lining up for it.
Makes sense.
It does. And Wheeler at quarterback.
So real wide formation. You could see slants coming in through this.
And Listokey goes in motion. Now Listokey has it in the flat. He's going to throw. It looks for Schimminger in the corner of the end zone. Did he get a foot down? He made the catch.
It was waved off. Double pass. Just a little bit too far to the left corner of the end zone.
Well, it was a great effort there by Evan Schimminger as he went up. He made the catch. He just apparently could not get a foot down. Let's take a look at it here. Here's Listokey, and he was under pressure immediately. And Schimminger goes up, and boy, that was awfully close.
Great catch either way. Again, that play gets broken up because of the quick pass, and that's because of the pressure coming off the edge. Again, a real nice play again by the defensive end at McCort on the right-hand side of their defense.
That was a 78-yard touchdown catch by Evan Schimminger, his first of the year. And that was a 2-play drive, 78 yards. How about that?
So we got a 3-score game with 3:48 left.
Both teams talking it over to their coaching staffs. I don't know. We're going to see an onside kick here. Just putting the coach's hat on you, Ken. Well, stick around for our post-game show for a look at the Bud's Auto Sales drive of the game. Bud's Auto Sales. No one drives a better deal than Bud himself. Visit them at budsautosales.com. And I'll tell you what, that's a candidate right there. The 78-yard touchdown pass from Wheeler to Schimminger. And that's a Levin Furniture Play of the Game nominee as well. See if BG
I don't know that you'll see a onside kick here. I think Coach Wheeler, with the strength of this kicker, is going to try to establish some field position and then hopefully get a stop and then flip the field again, because I wouldn't think about a onside kick until I got the score back within 2 scores. But I'm wrong.
They do the onside kick, and it's fielded by one of the up men, one of the hands guys. That is Luke Stevens, and he'll get tackled in BG territory. So they gave it a shot. I just kind of thought they had the momentum. Why not go for it? They did, but Luke Stevens was able to come up with it, the linebacker. It was an interesting try, for sure. BG will now be back on the defensive side on their own side of the field as Bishop McCort takes possession in plus territory at the 48-yard line.
Coach Wheeler was rolling the dice.
He sure was. I don't know. I just had a feeling that it might be coming. I don't know why I thought that, but.
So we got trips to the short side of the field, split end of the McCort sideline.
And Angelo Gallucci at quarterback. A little read option, and he pitches it, and Bainey with it. He'll carry it down to the 35-yard line, so a nice gain of 8 yards on first down there for the McCort offense. That is not Bainey. I can't tell his number. It's hard to see his number. Is that 8 or 6? That is 6. I beg your pardon. So that was Brady Page getting his first carry of the night. That play
Real good job with Angelo Gallucci once again, making a heady play, putting it out there, and picking up 8 yards on first down on what looked like may have been a little bit of a broken play.
Yeah, it looked like it was almost blown up immediately. But Gallucci, presence of mind to stay with it, and he hands this one off, and that is John D'Elia crashing ahead down to the 30-yard line. That is good for a UMH Properties first down. Live better, start sooner with UMH Properties. Visit umh.com. And that'll keep the chains moving here for Bishop McCort, and they're doing a good job of just eating up the clock here.
Yeah, Coach Price is going to do a heavy dose of running the football here. They want to be able to drain the clock. They want to be able to continue to move the football.
And 1st and 10 at the 30. You see the numbers for the players at the bottom of your screen there. Lee up to 118 yards on the night. And Gallucci, they're not going to go to the ground this time. They're going to air it out to the corner of the end zone. And that pass is overthrown and falls incomplete, intended for Bentley Bainey.
Well, I'm 0 for 2, trying to determine what the coaches are going to do. So I think I'm going to stop doing that. We stopped the clock, and we threw an incomplete pass there.
I'm 1 for the season, Ken. Don't feel bad. And you see Gallucci right there airing it out. And Bainey actually had a step on the defender, but the pass a little overthrown. And Gallucci going to remain in at quarterback. They have so many guys that can line up in so many different positions. And then he fakes the handoff to DeLee, and he hops through a short hole, and he will have a short gain of a couple of yards. Angelo Gallucci.
I was talking to Coach Price earlier in the week, and he said, Coach, I like to air it out. He teases me all the time because I was an old school running guy. I like to run the ball.
Pound.
Absolutely.
It looks like Bainey's going to come back in at quarterback. And the offense in no hurry. Play clock down to 12. And they have not snapped the football yet on this drive with the play clock above 10, so they are eating some time up here when they can. And they're going to send a man in motion. That's Gallucci, and they hand it to him. Bounces off a tackle, dives forward down to about the 14-yard line. They get the 16-yard line, I beg your pardon. That's good for a UMH Properties first down. They go back to the run, and again, a successful one. They keep the sticks and the clock moving. Boy, Gallucci, he is just such a versatile football player. He can do so many things for you.
Carson Stayer's in on the defensive line for BG, was involved in that play. That McCort line continues to move the ball, and they're tough to stand up against.
Yeah, no question about that. Bainey with a sidecar. It's D'Elia. He hands it to him. D'Elia bounces it outside, picks up a block, gets to the edge, turns it upfield. D'Elia reaches for the goal line. He's in. John D'Elia, his 3rd touchdown on the ground tonight. Wow, this offense looks unstoppable here tonight.
I'll tell you what, I give Nick Dresick a big shout out on that play. He was out there stock blocking as a wide receiver, doing a real nice job, giving D'Elia a path to the end zone.
His 3rd touchdown run of the night, his 18th of the season. And John D'Elia just having an unbelievable game right there. You see the hands go up, and he is celebrating on the sideline with his teammates, and he is having a huge ball game here tonight. And Avery Connor on to attempt the point after. And the kick is good. Bishop McCort has hung 40 up so far. They lead Bishop Guilfoyle 40-12 as we approach the end of quarter number 3.
So as we've been watching all season long, we've been seeing different teams play in the conference, and every team has its strength and has impact players. And, one of the things that makes this McCort team tough to defend is they've got that strong offensive front, and they're able to run the football, but they also command and demand your respect on the perimeter because of the skill of their receivers. So they really force you into some mismatches and can make it very difficult to stop the run without giving up big plays in the secondary.
Yeah, no question about that last drive. 6 plays, 43 yards. D'Elia capped it off with the 16-yard touchdown run, his 3rd touchdown tonight. And Bishop McCort leads at 40-12.
So now I agree, what you said earlier. I think you're going to start to see some subbing occurring. You're going to see some fresh jerseys get out there, give some younger guys the opportunity to play here at St. Francis University in this great environment. Get some other guys some rest and get yourself prepared in a healthy fashion to go into the district playoffs.
And Avery Connor will kick off here for Bishop McCort. And boy, what an effort tonight by the Crimson Crushers. You just had the feeling they were really pumped up for this football game. And they have played a dynamite football game here tonight in this Laurel Highlands Championship game at the golf field on the campus of St. Francis University. And Connor will kick it again. And Schimminger. Another return. And he is hit. And he is gang tackled. Well, he's never actually tackled, but he is stopped. And maybe a little frustration there on the part of Evan Schimminger as he slams the football down. Just no room to run there for Schimminger. And I'll tell you what, he's had a dynamite game tonight. We've called his name a lot on offense and defense. Evan Schimminger. He's having a really good game for this BG team.
He's tough. He looked really good in the BG win over Forest Hills as well.
And he's only a junior, has another year of eligibility. 6 foot, 194-pound junior.
So I agree with you. McCort was pretty fired up coming into this game. Not only had they not won a game against BG since 2012, but the scores were very lopsided. So I know that Coach Smith's been talking about, stepping up. And he said at the halftime break, trying to be a legend. This group is trying to turn the page on some tough times that McCort's had in football recently. And I give Coach Smith a lot of credit because he's been consistent, trying to build year after year, and it takes time.
Yeah, it definitely takes time as Wheeler heaves one down the far sideline, intended for Schimminger, and that pass falls incomplete. If McCourt's able to hang on and win this game, it'll be Tom Smith's first win against BG as Bishop McCourt's head coach. He talked about that the other night when I asked him. I said, have you beaten BG yet as head coach of McCort? And there was a little pause. Kenny went, no. So maybe this will be getting the monkey off the back for him as a flag came down on the play.
Well, during that run, not to defend McCourt's inability to beat BG during that time period, but BG had quite a run.
Oh,
and there
sure
aren't
did.
a lot of schools that were beating BG in the last 5 or 6 years.
Yeah, 5 state championships in 10 years. This one's flung out to the near side. Kissel with the catch, and he is slung down by Josh Spontak. And just not a lot of room to operate against this Bishop McCort defense. When you do make a play against them, there's someone on you almost immediately, and they are a sure tackling team. Have we seen any missed tackles by this Bishop McCort defense tonight, Ken? Not many, if any.
No, they're getting a lot of helmets to the ball, and they're making plays, and they're having a solid night.
And I think BG is just going to let it run down here to the end of the third quarter. Well, Bishop McCort might be on their way to a Laurel Highlands Athletic Conference Championship. They lead it 40-12. And we are going to come back with quarter number 4 right after this. You are watching the Good Feet Stores Friday Night Rivals, presented by Levin Furniture. Athletic Conference Championship game, and right now it is all Bishop McCort. They lead by a score of 40-12. 3 touchdown runs by John D'Elia. And what a game he has. And you said the number. How many does he have?
132 yards rushing as of right now. Has a couple catches as well.
And again, to go along with those 3 touchdowns, and he has been an absolute monster tonight for Bishop McCort. And this play is blown dead for it even.
Illegal procedure on BG.
So a dead ball foul against the Marauders. They're going to have to regroup after this one. And referee Mike Price does not feel like being on camera this time, so they're just going to back him up and we'll go from there. Now we'll get the fourth quarter underway. Bishop Guilfoyle from their own 16-yard line. And Justin Wheeler, the sophomore quarterback, in the shotgun formation, takes the snap. He is pressured, rolls to his right. He's going to look all the way back cross field, and it's intercepted by Angelo Gallucci. And Gallucci cuts back, and finally he is tackled at the 10-yard line. And that ball was just kind of thrown up for grabs, and Gallucci able to make the play on it. And another turnover for Bishop Guilfoyle. And Gallucci makes them pay.
Yeah, that was one of those things that, you're rolling to your right, you're throwing across your body. That's a tough thing. That rarely goes well in the NFL. Again, Justin just trying to make something happen, trying to, make a play. And, you got to credit him for fighting, all the way through.
Absolutely.
Here.
And he was under pressure again almost immediately, Ken. Bishop McCort has spent a lot of time in the Bishop Guilfoyle offensive backfield tonight. They are that good a team up front. And they will take possession here at the 10-yard line on a 1st and goal. They send a man in motion, and to the air goes Bainey and into the end zone for a touchdown. That is Kaleem Taylor, his 7th touchdown reception of the year. This one goes for 10 yards, and McCort adds to their lead. We may have a running clock here if he makes the point after. So a 10-yard touchdown catch for Kaleem Taylor.
Just real nice job there on a slant. Tough route. Again, big-bodied receiver, big, strong kid goes up, makes the play. Ball right on the mark.
And Avery Connor on to attempt the point after. Boy, Kaleem Taylor, he is some sort of athlete for this Bishop McCort team. Kind of one of those unsung guys. They have so many other guys that he kind of maybe doesn't get the credit he deserves, and this kick is blocked. And McCort blocked a PAT earlier. Now Bishop Guilfoyle blocks one.
Yeah, the timing was off on that one. The ball ended up being very low trajectory.
All right, we're going to step aside, take a break, be back after this. You are watching the Good Feet Stores Friday Night Rivals, presented by Levin Furniture.
To see for the Marauders, number 11, Evan Jr., and number 13, Nicholas Caddy.
On behalf of WJAC, USCO Federal Credit Union, and Friday Night Rivals, we want to congratulate all of our weekly Scholar Athlete nominees. Thank you for your hard work on and off the field. As we are back at the golf field on the campus of St. Francis University in Loretto, 46-12, Bishop McCort on their way to the Laurel Highlands Championship.
interscholastic athletics just teaches so many good lessons. You know, you play different sports and you're involved in different games, and the whole idea is to learn that work ethic on how to be able to put the time in to achieve your goals, reset those goals, you know, celebrate victories, come back from losses, because that's what life's all about. That's why interscholastic sports is such a great thing to support.
And Schimminger fields it again, and he is pushed out of bounds at about the 29-yard line. And the BG offense back on the field. We'll see if they make some changes here and start thinking with an eye on the future. And that future being the district playoffs coming up. And you see Keegan Hewitt, the freshman, number 9 for Bishop Guilfoyle on the field. And I'll tell you what, he's not one of those guys that doesn't contribute as a freshman. 42 carries this year, I beg your pardon, for 256 yards and 3 touchdowns as a freshman. He is a guy to look out for. He is a terrific young football player.
Absolutely. So BG had their second team out on the field. Coach Smith takes a timeout, and it looks like they're going to make some substitutions and get their second team in as both schools get some younger players in for the fourth quarter.
Yep, it's a good opportunity for these young guys to come on and play in a situation like this. As you said earlier, great facility here at St. Francis, a Laurel Highlands Championship game. Great learning environment for some of these young guys. The night belongs to Bishop McCort so far. Well, here is one of our West Central Equipment Line mowers. And you see them on your screen there. That is Rocco Fetzko. What a key contributor he is, the senior for this Bishop McCort team. Came into the night with 44 tackles on the year, 6 tackles for loss. He's a 4-year starter on that offensive line, 3-year starter on defense. For your lawn and garden equipment needs, turn to West Central Equipment, your authorized John Deere dealer. Locations in Martinsburg, Evansburg, and Somerset. And it's run off left tackle by that freshman we were talking about, Keegan Hewitt, and he'll pick up a few yards.
Fetzko's a fantastic young man. He's excellent in the classroom. He's involved in a lot of extracurriculars at McCort, and he has been, in the McCort system since kindergarten and has worked his way up through and always wanted to be able to be part of a championship team. And, there's a lot of these kids that have been in the Catholic elementary system that are finally seeing the dividends of their hard work paying out tonight.
Yeah, no question about that. In at quarterback here is Landon Schellenberger. And a flag comes in. And this has been a building thing for McCort. Bishop Guilfoyle, and here we'll hear from referee Mike Price again. Maybe.
Offside? Okay. Encroachment. Offense. Number 18 lined up in the neutral zone. 5 yards. Repeat, second down.
And this has been a building thing for Bishop McCort. You talk about a lot of these guys coming up together. They took their lumps 3-7 a couple years ago, improved to 5-5 last year. They've really been building toward this moment, Ken, and it's I'm sure it's gratifying for them and for head coach Tom Smith and Schellenberger on the keeper. And he gets through a hole, tries to get to the edge, and he is wrestled down by Kaleem Taylor at about the 35.
Tom Smith has been a football coach at Richland. He's been a football coach at Johnstown, and he was able to go back to his alma mater a few years back and get to coach, and now is the principal of the school and just really enjoys what he does there. And I think it's a fantastic thing that he'd get this championship here in Loretto where he played his college football.
Yep. We have 3 St. Francis college football players here tonight, Tom Smith and Ken Salem, and our sideline reporter, Jeff Page. This one's handed off to Keegan Hewitt, and he tries to turn it upfield, and he is taken to the ground after a gain of a couple. And he's a good-looking freshman young football player, Keegan Hewitt, 5'11", 195 pounds, and he's a guy who's going to contribute mightily over the next couple years for this BG team.
Like Coach Wheeler said, when you play in this conference and you're playing quad A schools, triple A schools, double A schools, and there's such competition in this expanded Laurel Highlands Conference, it really does prepare you for the second season, the postseason.
Yeah.
So it's exciting that, both teams appear to be coming out of this game without injury and are going to have a chance to represent the conference in that tournament.
Schellenberger going to hand it to Hewitt. He makes the first man miss, but he is brought down right at the line of scrimmage. And that was Colin Bysinger who made the tackle. And that will be a turnover on downs.
So McCort's going to bring in their second offensive unit. We'd expect to see Jackson Varga at quarterback.
And we saw him earlier this year. Very impressive he was indeed.
Jackson comes from a fairly athletic family. I coached his father, Matt, who was a wide receiver for Bishop McCort, and his mom was a standout soccer player.
Wow. That's very good. You see Marquez Gordon in the backfield. See if he gets his first carry here. And another flag comes in. This one came in from the back judge. Is it too many men on the field, perhaps? Looked like he was counting. We'll have to wait for the call here.
I'm excited to see what Marquez does. He's an exceptional athlete. He's a junior. He doesn't get many touches because of the depth.
Substitution on the defense. 5-yard penalty, first down.
He did have too many men on the field.
He doesn't get many, attempts to run the football because of the depth of the senior class. And then I'm really excited to also see, Giovanni Semendinger. He, in a couple of games we've seen, has done a real nice job as a freshman.
Yeah, both these teams pretty deep. No question about that. And Varga set up in the shotgun. And he will take the snap. He'll hand it to Gordon. Gordon bounces it outside. He'll have a first down and more. And he'll carry it down inside the 15-yard line to about the 13, and he punishes a man. That's a Ziegler Chevrolet first down. And Gordon's such a dominant player on the defensive side. I'll tell you what, you see the power he has running the football. Watch how he finishes this run right here. Just leaving people in his wake, Ken.
Well, he's a big boy, and that's, usually when you see a second team come in against a second team, you're not seeing someone that strong. But, he gets his opportunities to run the football when the second team's in there, so he's going to do whatever he can to get close to the goal line when he's in there.
Well, coming into tonight, he was the conference leader in sacks, and they hand it off again, and a little jet sweep, and he stood up at the 8-yard line. I believe that is Cole Wyant with the football. If I have the right number, that was indeed.
Senior running back, defensive back.
And McCort now just content to keep the ball on the ground and keep that clock moving. At least that's what we thought earlier, and then they threw it deep, but I don't think we're going to see that here. Under 8.5 to go in the Laurel Highlands Athletic Conference Championship game. McCort, as you can see, with a big lead in this football game.
4 quicks. Gordon's behind the quarterback. Varga takes the snap.
And he hands it to Gordon. Gordon again off the left side, trying to get to the edge, turns it upfield. He takes it in for the touchdown, but another flag comes in.
Yeah, I think you might see a hold over there.
It was right in that area. We'll see if that one comes back. Referee Mike Price has been a busy man here tonight.
Yeah, there have been a lot more flags here in the second half. That's to be expected when the younger guys get on the field. Marquez isn't going to be happy about that.
No, he's not.
Holding. Number 8 offense. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Second down.
Offense will line up and do it again. I'm calling that one right there at the very right top of your screen on Bentley Bainey.
I don't think that's Bentley Bainey.
They said number 8.
I know they did.
All
We may have a.
I was kind of surprised
That's
too.
a new set of uniforms out there, and they may have 2 8s.
I was surprised when he said 8 too. I didn't think Bainey would be on the field at this point, but I got to go with what the officials tell me. So Varga will take the snap again in the shotgun formation. Sends a man in motion and a high snap over his head and a bouncing football. Varga back. Can he hop on it? Yes, he does. He's able to way back at the 35-yard line. Boy, a heads-up play right there by Jackson Varga just to hop on that football. The freshman, he never had a chance to get that snap.
No, that came back with a lot of speed, and it was not accurate.
So all the way back to the 35-yard line. And that'll set up a 3rd and a mile. As Varga trots back onto the field. And the play clock under 10. See if McCort can get this play off here. Make it a 3rd and 30. They need the 5-yard line for a first down. I would imagine they're in 2-play territory. They do get the snap off, and they hand it off, and nowhere to go.
Was that 22, Ethan D'Elia?
That is Ethan D'Elia for sure, the sophomore. I'm going to go ahead and assume that's John D'Elia's younger brother. You would know better than I would, Ken, I would think about that.
I think you're pretty close to, I think you're right on that one for sure.
Hey, make it 2 for the season then for me. So 4th down here for Bishop McCort at the 34-yard line. And Jackson Varga is going to hand it off. It's fumbled. And it's scooped up. And ahead with the football and taking a pretty good shot right there was Cole Wyan again.
Yikes, that was a big hit.
That was.
So
that'll be a turnover on downs for Bishop.
BG will get the ball back. 6:24 remaining.
Right here comes the big shot that he takes. That was a pretty good collision right there. It was the Bishop McCort, or the Bishop Guilfoyle guy. That was Monroe Gates.
And Mikey Hofer was in on that as well.
Well, tonight's Friday Night Rivals live stream is brought to you by UPMC Life-Changing Medicine. We thank them. We thank all of our sponsors for being with us all season. As this pass falls incomplete, that was headed in the direction of Keegan Hewitt. And that'll bring up a 2nd and 10. And don't forget, stick around after the game. Jeff Page will be down on the field with the trophy presentation. And that's always a lot of fun. I'm sure this McCort team is going to be pumped up to get that Friday Night Rivals trophy, which is courtesy of the Good Feet Store and Keystone Engraving, and also the Laurel Highlands Championship trophy. And they'll get 2 trophies tonight. And back to pass, and right down the seam, has an open man into plus territory, and hauling that football in.
Nicholas Taddy. Real nice ball thrown by the quarterback.
That sure was. Landon Schellenberger, absolutely.
Yeah.
Right on the money.
Real nice job on the inside, tight post pattern.
Put it right between the 1 and the 3. Well, this freshman, pretty good-looking young football player. Now, you see how deep both of these teams are, Ken. Schellenberger going to go into the shotgun formation again from the Bishop McCort 45. Back to pass again into the seam. And that one is in and out of the hands of its intended target, Theo Lawson.
Again, another really nice ball thrown by Landon Schellenberger. He gets that out quickly, and it's on target. He's a junior.
Ken, let me ask you this. You coached high school football for a long time. When you put the second team in and they know how good the first team defense is and have played in this game and all season, do they ever feel any pressure? Like there's a certain standard we have to uphold here?
Oh, yeah, certainly in these programs that are used to having success, you know, when the defensive unit's on the field, you know, they want to keep the offense out. They want to, you know, sort of add an exclamation point to what the first team did throughout the game. Same way offensively, you want to come in, you want to show that you understand the offense and that you can be trusted with the ball, or you can be trusted to make your blocks, or you understand the schemes. So these kids are working hard. They practice against the first teamers in practice all year long. They're working the off season. So this is, again, their opportunity to get experience so they can show the coaches what they're capable of doing next year.
Absolutely. This play is blown dead as Schellenberger went back to pass.
The issue that you're going to see here with the flags is they don't get the reps in practice outside the JV season. So as far as taking the signals and understanding, the intricacies of making sure you're sharp, that gets tougher. But, again, you cannot replace experience.
No question about that. That makes a 3rd and 2, a 3rd and 7, and Schellenberger into the shotgun formation.
Trips to the boundary.
And Schellenberger going to put it in the air, and this one falls incomplete. Looks like it was intended for Theo Lawson again. That one just out of his reach. And that'll bring up a 4th down and 7. Well, from the 42-yard line of Bishop McCort, it is a 4th down and 7 for Bishop Guilfoyle. And the young quarterback, the freshman Landon Schellenberger.
4 quicks, 2 receivers to each side.
And Schellenberger takes the snap. The pocket is there. Goes right down the middle of the field and has his man. And a good reception there as that one's hauled in by Keegan Hewitt. And that is good for a Ziegler Chevrolet 1st down.
That was an excellent job. In fact, the court defender was all over him here, so he made a really nice play. As you can see, this is tight coverage, and, number 4, Brendan Wiley's right there. He's on him. He just makes a really great play.
Yeah, that was really good coverage, and we put that into a tight window, Schellenberger did. And this young man's, a couple times we've seen him this year, very impressive. Here's a quarterback keeper, has some room up the middle. They stand him up and drive him back. He never does go to the ground. I think they're going to give him forward progress to about the 24. He's a big kid, freshman. And they have him listed at 5'11 and 183. I think you're going to hear from him in the future.
Absolutely. And again, BG has developed a tradition where they work hard in the off season. A lot of these guys play other sports. They've got basketball players and baseball players on this team, and they work hard and they expect to be successful. So this is an experience opportunity for these young guys right now.
2nd and 6, and he hands it off to Keegan Hewitt, and Hewitt gets shoved out of bounds. And I think that is going to be good for another Ziegler Chevrolet 1st down. That'll move the sticks again. Very impressive looking drive here from BG.
Mikey Hofer, Carson Stayer, Connor Bennett, Michael Condren, Monroe Gates. They're all up there blocking for these young guys right now.
He hands it off to Hewitt again. Cannot get to the edge, and he is wrestled to the ground. And making that tackle was big number 77, Travis Jones, 6'2", 216, the junior.
Travis Jones,
freshman,
Liam Statler.
I beg your pardon. I said junior, freshman.
Yes.
My apologies for that. This time continues to wind down here. There's a 3-yard loss, 2nd and 13.
Both teams are doing a really nice job of giving everybody the chance to be on the field here in the 4th quarter.
Schellenberger going to throw it to the end zone. A little push-off maybe by the receiver, but it falls incomplete. No, the flag does come in. That was intended for Nick Taddy, and I think he might have pushed off there a little bit, Ken. We'll see what Mike Price has to say. That could be an OPI.
Pass interference, offense,
that's
number
what it
13.
is.
15 yards. Repeat 3rd down.
I'm on a roll tonight.
You are. You are, you can tell. Experience of the 10th game of the season.
They're going to bring this one back. And they're going to mark it at the 37-yard line. We need the 8-yard line for a first down right here. You see the push in the back, and that's a pretty obvious one right there. So BG.
I wasn't sure with the incomplete pass if that flag was going to get out there or
I
not.
wasn't sure either. I was waiting to see. It did kind of come in late, and he's able to find his man here. And with the reception down to the...
Monroe Gates, a sophomore, with a big reception.
Nice indeed, right down the seam. Another nice ball there by Landon Schellenberger. Well, one thing we see about him, he's an accurate passer.
Yeah, and he's very calm in the pocket. He has a nice presence back there.
He doesn't have the happy feet. You've heard that saying, I'm sure, Ken.
Absolutely. If your feet aren't moving in the right direction, or they're moving in the wrong one especially,
right,
it's very hard to deliver an accurate football. He's doing a nice job of putting the ball in the money.
That sets up a more manageable 3rd and 11. And McCort bringing the pressure. Schellenberger gets flushed out of the pocket, rolls to his left, tucks it. He's going to run it, punishes a man before he shoved out of bounds. Well, I am impressed with this young freshman quarterback, Landon Schellenberger. Wheeler comes over. I don't think head coach Justin Wheeler really happy with what he saw there. Not nearly as happy as I was with what I saw.
Well, Coach Wheeler's a competitor.
He is.
And he is going to try to get everybody to execute the game plan, the plays that he calls, to the best of their ability. I think Schellenberger did a really nice job there of evading the rush and then leaking that out, picking up some yards, and then getting out of bounds. Got trips right.
On a 4th down and 7, Schellenberger back to pass. And his receiver was knocked down on the play, and the flag does come in. That was Theo Lawson, who got upended before the ball got there.
Yeah, that flag had to come in. He got decleated out there. That's definitely pass interference. And going to give BG an opportunity for a first down with 1:36 left in the 4th quarter.
And that will be a Ziegler
Down half the
Chevrolet first down. And I think Mike Price has kind of gotten tired maybe of explaining all the calls. Well, maybe he's going to. Here he goes.
pass interference on the defense, number 22. Half the distance to the goal, 1st yard.
81 total yards for Schellenberger in this football game. This BG has a 1st and goal from the 7. And Schellenberger back to pass. Going to chuck it to the end zone again. This one incomplete. Again intended, for Theo Lawson. That one a little bit underthrown.
Yeah, they had 2 comeback routes at 2 different levels there, and I'm not sure if he wanted to go the inside receiver or the outside receiver. Brings up a 2nd and goal.
Make it the 8-yard line. I had it at the 7. They officially call it the 8. And Schellenberger with a sidecar. Going to take the snap. This time he's going to zip it to the end zone, and this one is incomplete again, and another flag comes in. There's been quite a lot of laundry on the field tonight.
Yeah, that ball was thrown a little behind the receiver, so the official must have determined.
Pass interference on the defense, number 17. Half the distance to the goal, repeat 2nd down.
So the official must have determined that the ball, that the receiver was impeded to the football, even though the ball was thrown behind him.
Tell you what, Mike Price is going to be recognized at the grocery store this week. He's had a lot of airtime.
There's a slant set up at the top end of the field.
Schellenberger's going to keep it. Cuts back inside, dragging tacklers, trying to dive for the goal line. He won't get there, just short, but inside the 1-yard line. As time continues to tick, we are down to 1:06 remaining in this Laurel Highlands Championship game. And Schellenberger, the keeper, right up the gut he goes again, reaching. Did he get across the goal line? He's saying he did. The officials haven't signaled yet. No, they're going to mark him short. Yeah,
showing 4th down.
They are going to mark him short again. Here's another look at it. Boy, that was close. He's saying all the ball has to do, the nose of the football, is break the plane. So the final half minute of play. So 4th and goal. We'll see if Schellenberger keeps it one more time. This defense wants to make a stand. He does keep it, and he gets stood up and pushed toward the goal line, and he is in.
Touchdown, BG.
And Schellenberger gets the touchdown. I'll tell you what, that young man earned that. He deserves that touchdown right there.
He did. That was a solid drive. Did a nice job throwing the football. Great pocket presence. Had some real tough runs.
And right there, the 1-yard touchdown run by Schellenberger. And they're going to line up for the point after attempt. And that is Carter Boland on. And the kick is no good. He hooked it left. So 46-18 remains the score. That was a 15-play drive covering 67 yards. All right, we're going to step aside, take a break, come back for the final 13 seconds. This is the Good Feet Stores Friday Night Rivals presented by Levin Furniture. Back at the golf field on the campus of St. Francis University, the Laurel Highlands Athletic Conference Championship game, 46-18. Bishop McCort is leading this one. A touchdown there, a 1-yard touchdown run by Landon Schellenberger. And that was a 15-play drive covering 67 yards. And Boland will kick it off again. It's going to be a onside kick attempt, and that is covered by Bishop McCort. And hopping on that football. That was an 85, but I do not have an 85 on my roster, Ken, do you? I go up to 79. That's all the high.
No, again, they've got those new jerseys. So I'm really excited for Coach Smith. Again, this is his first undefeated regular season, first winning season as a head coach at Bishop McCort. And he's going to go into the AA District 6 playoffs as the #1 seed. You know, it's been a long journey for him, and
they put their first team offense back on the field to take a knee to end the game. I think that's a great move right there. Symbolic move by head coach Tom Smith.
Well, these seniors have really led this program back, and it's an exciting victory for Bishop McCort, exciting for all these young men, their families, and it's great to see.
And that will do it. Your Laurel Highlands Athletic Conference champions, the Bishop McCort Crimson Crushers, undefeated, headed into the district playoffs. And what a season they put together here, and a huge win here tonight, 46-18 over Bishop Guilfoyle. And I'll tell you, terrific all-around effort offensively and defensively.
Absolutely. You know, they controlled the line of scrimmage. You know, they put their skilled guys in position to make plays, and they were just able to do that. you got to give BG credit for putting together another outstanding season, getting back to the Laurel Highlands Conference Championship game. And, you got to think after they figure out what could they do better going into the playoffs after this game tonight, they want to mirror their same effort and success they had last year. They lost the Laurel Highlands Conference Championship last year and came back and was able to make a great run in the single A playoffs and win a state championship. So I think you're going to see both teams gain from this experience and put themselves in position for some great things in the postseason.
Now let's take a look at our NHTSA school bus stop of the game.
This is the school bus stop of the game, presented by NHTSA. Always remember to stop when the school bus arm is out.
Well, always remember to stop for a school bus when the stop arm is out and the red lights are flashing. Not stopping or trying to beat the stop arm puts lives at risk and result in large fines, points on your license, and license suspension.
This is the school bus stop of the game, presented by NHTSA. Always remember to stop when the school bus arm is out.
Quarter when BG was threatening to score.
That was on a 4th and goal from the 1, and BG not able to take it in, and that kind of almost really, I think, set the tone for the game, Ken, particularly from a defensive standpoint. Bishop Guilfoyle, just not a lot of room out there. I mean, Bishop McCort, they fly around to the football. They have so much speed on defense. They have such great pursuit, and they are going to be a tough out for anybody in the AA playoffs.
We know, looking at the Laurel Highlands and the success that the conference has, you're going to expect, some really awesome matchups in the AA playoffs. The AA team, Richland, has one loss to Bishop McCort and is excited to earn an opportunity to get a rematch. So that looks like one that both schools are going to be excited to look at down the road. But, you got to go 1-0 each week to be able to get to those big games.
All right, looks like Jeff Page is setting up on the field down below. He's going to hand out the Laurel Highlands. Well, he's not going to hand out the Laurel Highlands Championship Trophy. He's going to hand out the Friday Night Rivals Championship Trophy. They're also going to get the Laurel Highlands Athletic Conference Championship Trophy. So let's send it down to Jeff Page on the field.
Coach, your defense was stout all night. You put up 46 points in the game. How does it feel to be Laurel Highlands Football Conference champions?
No, it feels absolutely amazing, and I just want to say something about this bunch real quick. The resiliency that this group of young men has possessed since early July, and some of the things this football program went through, it defines Bishop McCort and everything that we've done for so many years. It's who we are. We're resilient. We're going to keep coming at you, but we're not going away anytime soon. And everyone needs to know, if they come at one of us, they come at all of us. I love this football program. I love all these cheerleaders, and I couldn't be more proud of my school right now.
Coach, congratulations on another memory for you here on the Pine Bowl.
Yes, it is. The Pine Bowl has been very good to me in my career as a player and as a coach. And I'm just so emotional for these young men, and 10-0 is a big deal for our program. It doesn't happen very often, and being an undefeated football team in a regular season is in the Laurel Highlands is a credit to every team that we play, because every team that we play is extremely tough. They're all great kids and great programs, and we couldn't be happier to be in the Laurel Highlands, and we couldn't be happier to be the Laurel Highlands champs.
Congratulations, Coach, and I'm going to turn to my left here. We got our player of the game, John D'Elia. John, 3 touchdowns tonight, over 130 yards on the ground. Total team effort. How are you feeling?
I feel great, but honestly, I just want to say that nobody deserves it more. We were 0-5 at one point in my sophomore year, and we really built this program.
Terrific. Well, guys, I've got something special for you here. This is our Friday Night Rivals Winners Trophy that we're going to present to you guys. This is presented by the Good Feet Store and Keystone Engraving. And Coach has asked me to hand this thing off to the Gooch. So, the Gooch, this is for you. Right now, McCord, it's time for you guys to make some noise. Laurel Highlands Conference champions, your Bishop McCort Marauders. Back up to you, Rick and Ken in the booth.
All right, we thank you, Jeff. Always enjoy the fun time at the end of the game down there, handing out the championship trophy. Now let's look at the Bud's Auto Sales drive of the game. Bud's Auto Sales, no one drives a better deal than Bud. Visit them at budsautosales.com. bishopmucort.com. So we'll look at that drive of the game here, brought to you by Bud's Auto Sales. And this was a BG play right here as Wheeler was able to toss it up in the air and it was hauled in for a 78-yard touchdown catch by Evan Schimminger. And that kind of gave Guilfoyle a little bit of life, and they got back in the football game right there. That was his first touchdown catch of the year, and he was very visible in this entire game tonight. All right, we're going to step aside, take a break, be back. Post-game show, wrap this one up. Bishop McCort Crimson Crushers are your Laurel Highlands Athletic Conference champions. They win tonight over Bishop Guilfoyle by a score of 46-8. Be back after this. You're watching the Good Feet Store's Friday Night Rivals presented by Levin Furniture.
Number 16.
Well, back at the golf field on the campus of St. Francis University in Loretto. And what a game it was tonight for the Bishop McCort Crimson Crushers as you see them getting their trophies on the field for being the Laurel Highlands Conference champs, and well-deserved and well-earned, Ken.
Yeah, there was absolutely a statement made tonight by the Crushers. You know, I think it happened on both sides of the ball, on the offense and defensive lines. Those big guys did a fantastic job of controlling the line of scrimmage, which then in turn allowed them to control the clock. Big playmakers made big plays. D'Elia was strong. Bentley Bailey was strong. Kaleem Taylor was strong. I mean, they put a pretty good game together tonight against a really good BG team, and it's going to be a exciting postseason to watch all the schools that compete in the Laurel Highlands now compete in the district playoffs.
Well, on behalf of WJAC, USCO Federal Credit Union, and Friday Night Rivals, we want to congratulate everyone who participated in some great football this year on Friday Night Rivals. We'll be back again next year. We hope next year is as fun as this year. All this brought to you by Thomas Mills. I'm happy to have them along as a sponsor as well. We thank all of our sponsors for being with us all year. Couldn't be possible without them. And, boy, as we wrap it up here, we're going to look at the play of the game, and that was that catch by Kaleem Taylor where he just absolutely went up in traffic on the long pass from Bentley Bainey, and he just went up with unbelievable athleticism.
That's just what makes them so tough. You know, Bentley Bailey puts the ball where only their receiver can go get it, and they've got playmakers that go out and make plays. Play of the game, great job from the Crimson Crushers. A great postseason for Bishop Guilfoyle coming up.
Well, what a game it was tonight. Promotional considerations. This game was sponsored by the Good Feet Store and Levin Furniture. Promotional considerations also provided by UPMC, UMH Properties, Ziegler Chevrolet, Bud's Auto Sales, American Legion County Fair, Berger and Green Attorneys at Law, Priority First Federal Credit Union, Newsco Federal Credit Union, West Central Equipment, Wendy's, Crawford's Gift Shop, Thomas Feed Mill, Keystone Engraving, and NHTSA. Friday Night Rivals is a production of Sports Fever Television Network for Sinclair Broadcasting Group. For more information, you can go to sportsfevertv.net. WJAC TV is brought to you by Sinclair Television of Fresno, a member of the Sinclair Broadcast Group. For Ken Salem, for Jeff Page, and our entire crew here at Friday Night Rivals, we thank you for watching. What a year it's been. Can't wait to get next year kicked off already. I'm Rick Hall, wishing everyone a great night, and congratulations to the Bishop McCort Crimson Crushers.